Hey, what is happening? What is happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another live hangout vid. Well, let's cover this real quickly. I know it's a little late, but hopefully I can get some people on. I won't make this too long. Make sure, make sure. Hopefully I can get some people on. I won't make this too long. Make sure my Microsoft level is okay. All right, great. What's up, Joe Host? You in the chat, man. The one and only Bob Squad. I don't want to say too loud, but yeah. It's kind of a little late up in here, but Bob Squad. Yeah, the one and only Bronze Bomber. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So all I can say is, man, it was a great weekend of boxing. That's all I gotta say, man. I mean, not only that we got the spectacular KO victory, Deontay Wilder applied over Dominic Breazeale, imposed, I should say, over Dominic Breazeale. We also got the the WBSS that people are not really talking too much about on some of the streams. And let me cover that real quick before I get into Deontay Wilder, Dominic Breazeale today. Bring some guys into the chat. In fact, let me do that right now as we speak. Let me get the guys up in here. Oh, somebody sent me a message. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, Wilder's a real deal, man. He is, man. I just wish people, I will get into that later. I just wish people just give him credit, man. You don't have to like the guy, but I'm just saying he is a very lethal heavyweight. We're just gonna be honest. He very is. I mean, very is. He is. So let's take a look here. So here's the thing. Let's see. So here's the thing, man. Let's go with the WBSS real quick. Now, Inoue versus Manuel Rodriguez was for the I think it was IBF title. I think Inoue vacated the regular belt because that's the only way they could sanction that fight for the for the IBF. So I believe that's let me see. Yeah. Oh, so that's interesting. Inoue was able to retain that regular title, so the WBA allowed him to go ahead and unify with the IBF. That's very interesting. So he won the IBF in the vacant ring bantamweight title against Emmanuel Rodriguez. So he's technically rated the number one bantamweight right now. He can make a case for it. I wish him and Solana Tete had fought, and Tete had pulled out. So, excuse me. Tete pulled out of the tournament, so now we have Donito Donaire is going to be facing Inoue in the finals. But before I get into that for the World Boxing Super Series, let me just say one thing. Naoya Inoue really surprised me because I thought that Manuel Rodriguez was a little bit more skillful than he was in a way. The skills gap is not too wide. I thought he was better of a boxer. I thought he was better technically than Inoue. I thought he was faster on his feet. I could say he had some early success in the first round, but Inoue in the second round really punished and brutalized Rodriguez. I mean, really brutalized him. I think he knocked him down, the 3 times. And to credit to Rodriguez, he was a warrior. He didn't want to quit. But, from a body language standpoint, after the second knockdown, he pretty much gave up because his body could no longer handle the body shots and the ferocious pressure by Naoya Inoue. And I have to say, man, Inoue being a let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4-way champion and only in 18 pro fights, being very formidable opponents. Omar Navarez. I know that Navarez is undefeated for a long time, and then he beat him by KO in the second round, and I mean that's something nobody's able to do to Navarez. Pretty much, beat him and Rio Jockey Tachi, beat him, coming up. Then Kyle Kono, and obviously I never really rated Jamie McDonald, but Juan Carlos Payano, pretty good fighter at bantamweight, beat him in the start of the World Boxing Super Series, but then went to Glasgow and beat Emmanuel Rodriguez. I mean, anyway, to me, he has a case to be pound for pound, number 5. I mean, he definitely moves up in the list now. So he's fighting Nonito Donaire. I hate to say this, as much as Nonito Donaire, a great fighter that he is, I mean, he's way past it. Fortunate enough that he's able to kind of regain some bit of form, going all the way back down to bantamweight, all the way from super featherweight. I'm like, not super featherweight, featherweight. Jesus Christ! And Donaire is a very big dude, and he's able to make that weight. That's just amazing. I just know. I mean, needless to say though, he is going his 9 anyway. I just don't think Donaire is going to win that fight. I mean, if he does win that fight, I would say Nonito Donaire has really redeemed his career if he somehow, some way comes through to that fight. All right, so can't wait to see that. Let's get into the Billy Joe Saunders fight. I mean, I know Frank Warren and Queensberry Promotions had an undercard on ESPN Plus. Joe Joyce was on that card. He fought Alexander Ustinov. First of all, I don't know why Joe Joyce chose that fight anyway. What was the point? I mean, it was a bit. I guess it was a stay busy fight. Just rack up more wins on your resume just to, keep him active. I mean, look, if you're in late 30, early 30s, and you have a long amateur career, you got to put up piling a lot of fights as possible before you get into the bigger fights. I get all that, but Ustinov was recently knocked out by Michael Hunter, so what was the point of fighting Ustinov? I don't know. I mean, again, what were we going to learn from that fight? And all I can say is that, yeah, got him out in 3 rounds, but that was a terribly slow fight to watch. I mean, Ustinov was never a fast heavyweight. He was always extremely slow. And Joe Joyce is just as slow, even though he's more powerful than Ustinov. But, yeah, that was, I don't know. But, hey, credit to Joe Joyce. He got the win. Hopefully he fights the winner of Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman. We'll see. That's yet to be told. But Billy Joe Saunders was the headliner of that card. He fought, what's that fighter's name? I forgot who he is. Help me out there, Dwayne. What's happening, Dwayne? Dwayne says that Billy Saunders is overrated. I mean, really? I don't think Billy Joe's overrated, man. I just think he should not be fighting opponents that he's been fighting lately. Excuse me, to be honest with you. So he just got to be more active. I know that he was supposed to fight Demetrius Andrade, but he got, violated a drug policy, violence testing, got suspended. It is what it is, and he had to, he was going to get stripped of his WBO middleweight title weight, but he vacated it before you get stripped. But it is what it is. But he fought, he's fighting, I don't know, man. It's just like after the Andy Lee fight, his level of opposition has been very, very poor. William Monroe. I guess that was a last minute opponent, I guess, but still, though, man, I wouldn't call that a pretty good victory. David Lemieux, I guess it's somewhat okay, but no. I mean, I don't know. That's debatable. But, like I said, Billy Jones he hasn't been fighting the proper opponents. He's a very good technical fighter. He reminds me of a middleweight of Tyson Fury, but he's not fighting the more formidable opponents. He's just not doing it. He fought this guy named Safat Usufi. Yeah, that's the guy's name. And looking at both of you guys at super middleweight, them dudes is like hell small. It's like, God damn it. It's like Billy Joe Saunders has no business being at super middleweight. I'm being honest. And the opponent that fought has no business being up there either. I mean, if Billy Joe Saunders really think he could take on Callum Smith, dude, I'm sorry. No. Callum Smith is much bigger, much more stronger, a longer, rangier, much taller than Billy Joe Saunders. Callum Smith is going to brutalize that man. I'm sorry. Now, to be fair, Billy Joe Saunders may have some success early on against Callum Smith, but Callum Smith with those long arms and he can utilize his reach very well, he'll get him out of there. He's going to brutalize him. I just don't see Billy Joe win that fight. I just don't see it, man. I mean, it'd be interesting unification bout, but nah, man. No way. I advise Billy Joe to go back down to middleweight. I really advise him to do it, but we'll see what happens from here if he can really, really, really compete at super middleweight. I mean, seriously, look, those guys is big there. You got, Jose Uzcategui, who recently lost his belt to Caleb Plant. I mean, those guys are big super middleweights because, I mean, they literally rehydrate up to down near cruiserweight limit over like heavyweight. It's like, Jesus Christ, and, you got David Benavidez, a very big guy up there. Mitchell, actually, he just moved up to light heavyweight, so he's out of the equation. But, it's like that all these, these super middleweights, I mean, they're not like the Braves of the bunch at the moment. It's just like these dudes are big. I just don't see how Billy Joe can really last longer in that weight class. I just don't see it. But, hey, if he can pull it off, all power to him. All power to him if he can pull it off. But yeah, needless to say, though, I mean that was a showcase card for Queensberry Promotions. Let's be honest, it was a showcase card. But moving on to the main event on that, well, the WBSS main event, Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk. Very pretty entertaining competitive fight, but definitely I had Josh Taylor winning that fight convincingly. I know in the first 4 or 5 rounds it was very competitive. They could have gone either way. I think I had a top 3-2 in the fifth, going into the 6th, and then he knocked down Baranchyk twice. Baranchyk twice, I should say. Yeah, I'm hard time pronouncing his name. Baranchyk twice, and all I could say is that after that, he was able to figure him out. He was able to pick his shots a lot better. And Baranchyk was trying to break him down to the body, but Josh Taylor is just, he's just too strong. Literally, he's too big for fucking like welterweight, just like Baranchyk. Baranchyk is equally big. These guys look like they're goddamn middleweights in there and fight for a damn 140-pound title. Of course, Baranchyk was the defending IBF champion. So all I can say is that great victory for Josh Taylor. Definitely, he's in the finals against Regis Prograis, and now that's going to be a damn good fight, man. I can't wait for that fight to happen. If I have to favor someone, I may have to favor Taylor, because even though Prograis is equally, dangerous southpaw, but he hits harder, in my opinion, than Taylor. But the thing about Prograis is that he's not really that good defensively. I'm not saying he doesn't have poor defense, but he doesn't really have that, textbook style of defense. He'll shots and he'll try to come forward as he can, but Taylor's a different fighter, man. This dude's really got a very, very good amateur background, and this dude's very technical sound, and he's a southpaw too. So he, to me, in my opinion, some people may, chastise me for saying this. This is my opinion. Take it for what it is. I think that Taylor, to me, he has a little bit of shade of Joe Kawasaki. I'm not saying he's just as great as Kawasaki, but there is some shades of him watching him fight. Real talk. So he may not have the hand speed, but his hand speed is pretty good, and he does have the work rate just almost as good. His work rate is almost on par to like Kawasaki. But to me, again, I see shades of him when I watch Taylor fight, and he's very impressive. And he's done this in 16, 17 pro fights already. Yeah, 15 pro fights. So he's beating some good opponents. Ahara Davis. He had a step up fight on world level against Miguel Vasquez, Victor Paul-Style, Ryan Martin. Those all after the Ryan this Victor Paul-Style fight, which obviously the judges scored it. Obviously a little bit wide. I thought it was a lot closer than when they scored it, but he fought after that Ryan Martin in WBSS, and Ryan Martin's a guy I don't really highly rate, but of course, there's a WBSS opponent. Okay, decent. I say okay victory, I guess, but I really don't rate the guy. Ivan Baranchyk was a very good win for him. So he's got Prograis, man, and that's going to be a tough fight. Tough fight. But I do got Taylor winning that fight. I think he's going to really, really. I think he's going to beat Prograis. But we'll see. Prograis can win that fight, but again, he can't rely on one shot. And sometimes Prograis doesn't rely on that shot. And he keeps himself open after he throws a shot, just like Costa Tszyu used to do it. And Costa Tszyu used to get away with that, but and trust me, Prograis is no Costa Tszyu. Not comparing them, I'm just saying. Inoue, I agree with you, Mike. Mike from Pound for Pound Boxing Report. Shout out to you, man. If anybody don't know about the Pound for Pound Boxing Report, please check out that page. Very good content there. Yeah, Inoue is definitely top 5 pound for pound, man. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Mike. I agree with you on that. Mala, what's up, Mala? Mala says that it was a great knockout, but to be fair, Breazeale was a punching bag. He is slow and there to be hit. Fingers crossed. We hope we can get Wilder into some bigger fights. You know what? Like I said, Mala, Breazeale was there to hit. We all come to the consensus in a mutual agreement on that. We all agree on that. But the argument is that a lot of people said that Breazeale has what's the word I'm looking? He's become more familiar, in other words, after the AJ fight. That was the argument. And he did work his way to become a top 10 heavyweight. We all can agree on that. And some people have argued that Deontay Wilder was doing his best to avoid that guy. This is what they were saying. I was laughing about this, like, what? Are you serious? people were literally Baranchyk was harassing Wilder for what 2.5 years, almost 2 years, and they were telling him that he need to fight Breazeale or White, one of those two, or Joshua, obviously, or before he fight Joshua, he need to fight those two guys. Yeah, that's what people were saying, and so that's why I'm laughing about this. That's the reason why I posted those little comical comments in my video upload before I came on this hangout. Literally, people were saying that, and that's why now it's like some people are trying to backtrack that victory that Wilder was able to do to Breazeale. And to be fair, Don Breazeale has a very, very good chin. He's not easy to get out of here. Yes, he's easy to hit, but it takes a lot of work to get that guy out of there. Ask Anthony Joshua. I mean, ask Inoue Ogano. Inoue Ogano, literally, I mean, he was hitting Breazeale with a fucking kitchen sink. He couldn't get him out of there. Breazeale, with his good chin and durability, got him out here. You know what I mean? Like Amir Mansour, same thing. Amir Mansour hit this man with a kitchen sink, and he couldn't. Mansour couldn't finish him, and Breazeale was able to come back and beat him and make him quit on the still, make him retire. So all I can say is that I'm not saying Breazeale is a great fighter, but that man that did have a world class chin. You can't take that away from him. He does have durability. Yeah, he didn't have the skill set, but he did have the durability. He has the heart. He came to fight. He didn't lay down. Of course, he just got hit with a dynamite bomb. That's just the way it is. And his chin wasn't going to hold up against that. I thought it was going to hold up against at least for a couple rounds or so, but I didn't expect that to happen in 53 seconds in one round. I really didn't expect that, to be honest with you. Dwayne says that Billy Joe always only fights fighters that he knows lack something. If they don't lack power, they lack speed. If they don't lack speed, they lack IQ. So yeah, maybe you may hit something out there, Dwayne. Probably Billy Joe's been very, very selective after he fought Andy Lee. He's been, as I have to reiterate my point. He has not been fighting, formidable opponents after Andy Lee fight. He hasn't been doing it. David Lemieux, okay, fine. You can somewhat give him credit for that one, but other guys like, Willie Monroe, who has no fighting instincts whatsoever, has no heart whatsoever, and who else? The last guy, I forgot the name. Sufi, I never heard of. Fought for middleweight title. I mean, super middleweight title. I mean, literally, come on, man. Billy Joe, he's better than that. And I agree with you, Dwayne. I'm not saying he's overrated, but he definitely needs to really fight better opponents than what he's fighting now ever since he beat Andy Lee. And he needs to be very active, So, you said here, Dwayne says that name one opponent that's fairly complete that Billy Joe has fought. That's a good question. I don't know. The only thing that come close to the mind is maybe Chris Eubank Jr. I know Chris Eubank Jr. has had some setbacks here and there, but he's bounced back with some nice little victories. I mean, he retired James DeGale, even though we all knew James DeGale was shot after that fight. But I had a feel. I thought from what I've heard or what I've saw, I could be. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Dwayne. I thought the bookies had Chris Eubank as the underdog in that fight, or maybe the slight favorite. You can help me out on that. But some people felt that Eubank was going to lose that fight against James DeGale. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. I thought he was going to lose against DeGale because I thought DeGale, even though he was on his last leg, I thought DeGale was more experienced because Eubank is known to not come through in big fights. So. Speaking of Chris Eubank Jr., where has he been after that fight? He hasn't been active, so I don't know what's going on. When is he going to fight again? But I guess people don't really care right now, but it is what it is. That answers your question here, Dwayne, hopefully. Mike says that Taylor versus Prograis will be a heck of a fight. And Inoue, it's about time, folks recognize he's absolutely the truth. Anyways, is serious consideration for top 4 pound for pound, even top 5. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. If he pulls off the WBSS, which he's favored to do against Donaire, I mean, yeah, he definitely should be, top 4, maybe top 3. Who knows? He definitely has a case to make that argument. So, Big Boys Boxing, aka Kiwi Box Talk. What's up, Kiwi? Kiwi says that. Yeah, what's up, man? I'm doing good. Like Tyson Fury says, anyone who stands in front of Wilder will get KO'd. Yep, I agree, Kiwi. And I have to say one thing: if that fight gets made, what Anthony Joshua is going to have to do is that he cannot stand in front of Deontay Wilder, because if you stand in front of him, you get him and just throw that lethal right, and he will throw it with precision and speed and accuracy. And I know a lot of people said that Deontay Wilder is not that good as from a technical standpoint, which he isn't. But the one thing I do have to say is that it takes a lot of skill and, precision to throw a powerful bomb like that right hand, especially straight down the pipe. It takes a lot of skill to do it because this man will find a way to land it, and you just don't know where it's coming. And this is one thing I want to get to the Dominic Breazeale fight. Breazeale, when Wilder came in with the left jab, right, before he threw the right, followed up with his right, he came in with the left jab. Breazeale saw that coming. But what he tried to do is, a lot of people said, he tried to counter that with an uppercut coming down, a left uppercut coming down the middle. And Wilder threw the right so quickly before Breazeale could even try to throw extension on that uppercut, and he went down. He didn't see that right coming. He wasn't expecting it. He was expecting Wilder to throw that jab, and then he could counter with the left. And that's the thing about Wilder. When he throws that jab, you don't know where he's going to throw that right hand. Even if he telegraphs it, it's coming in very quickly. And the one thing I will have to say, though, is that Wilder, the one thing I didn't expect him to do is that we all thought that going into the fight, he was going to telegraph his right like he usually does, and he's not going to try to mix it up. And to be fair, though, even though the fight only lasted 53 seconds, he actually was trying to mix it up. He's throwing body shots early, even though he landed, two of them or one of them, and he threw three of them. But he was mixing it up, and that's something Dominic Breazeale didn't really expect. So, and he was actually, throwing out his jab a bit more. So, again, he wasn't really telegraphing the right, which he should be doing. So, Hamed, what's going on, man? So, yeah, it is real talk. He says here, I think Joshua will knock out Wilder if he catches him, and vice versa, whoever lands first. Bill was no head movement, credit to Wilder. And to be fair, Ahmed, though, you did say that Breazeale could knock out Wilder, though, before the fight happened. You did say that on Black Horseman's chat. I mean, it is your opinion, but you did say that, though. But, yeah, you do have a point. I agree with you. But we'll see, though, in my opinion. Credit to Wilder, he wastes no time, but Breazeale is no AJ. Yeah, I know. We agree on that. But to be fair, though, AJ's no Tyson Fury because it's going to take a great defensive tactician to beat Deontay Wilder. The only people that the person who's good enough to beat him is Tyson Fury. And even Tyson Fury, who is very probably, in my opinion, and anybody, a lot of you guys can agree with me on this one, is the best defensive fighter in the heavyweight division. And he got caught twice, especially at 12 round, he got caught flush. So if Fury's going to get caught twice, and he's the best defensive fighter heavyweight, Anthony Joshua is nowhere good as a defensive fighter as Tyson Fury. I'm not saying, and he's not a bad defensive fighter, but he doesn't really move as fast as Tyson Fury. He's not that mobile compared to him. So if I'm Anthony Joshua, I got to figure out, I can't stand in front of this guy. I got to work on some things if I'm going to fight this guy. So, but it's like, I mean, Hamed says that, in my opinion, AJ can crack box, and he has to beat Wilder to the punch. Either it goes after Wilder or keep his high guard in the distance. You can't let Wilder tee off. Here's the thing about that, Hamed. What makes Wilder very scary is that he can punch to your guard. And he did that to Breazeale. He was punching through his guard, and Breazeale was shaking his head, talking about that didn't hurt. I'm telling you right now, that did hurt. Okay, when a fighter shakes his head when he catches a shot flushly, he can shake his head all you want. All right, he punches through your guard, and some guys even said that, Wilder will punch your guard. Even if you got your guard up, he punches through it, and that shit hurts. It stings. He punches right through it. That's how strong he is. Yeah, AJ's going to, I mean, like I said, I saw you guys yesterday, man. Like I said, dude, a lot of AJ fans, even some rational ones, they say, look, I go hard for AJ. I really do, but after watching last night, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know. They're very nervous now. They don't know. They're not too sure if he can win this fight, because here's the thing. I still say it's a close fight either way, though I would slightly favor Wilder win it if they were to now. But here's the thing, though. A lot of people expected Wilder to lose a step after the Fury fight, or even after the Ortiz fight, because he went through a very, very hard fight against Willie Ortiz, got knocked out. A lot of people expected him to have lost a step or slow down a bit. But after the Breazeale fight, a lot of people are like, I don't know, man, because he was able to regain his form after that fight. Really regained it. So, I mean, we'll see, man. We know that fight's not going to happen right now, but if they study Wilder at this point, AJ in his camp, they're going to have to be very, very worried about that and got to have to figure out, hey, I can't stand in front of this guy, so what do I have to do now? You know? And to be fair, AJ can't really box off the back foot very well, even though he did show some bit of improvement in that area against Povetkin, but he still hasn't quite mastered that skill yet. So we'll see. But we'll see on that one. Let me see. Let me go to the chat. Kurt Anderson, Kurt Sugar, man. What's going on, man? Now, if you guys don't know who Kurt Sugar is, Kurt Anderson, man, please go ahead and visit his channel. He's on World Breakers channel a lot of great insight. He speaks about boxing history. Shout out to you, Kurt Sugar. I got to get you on the channel sometime, man. We got to talk about some boxing history, man. Real talk. Or you got to get you back on here, man, because, you're a great talker, man. You can have a good conversation with. Dwayne says that Dan, I spoke to Thompson. There's an APP out low place. We can't find him. We can't find him, dude. And said, Wilder. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to T, dude, but he did say Breazeale could beat Wilder. He did say it, and he's been gone ever since the Jerry Hurd loss. So I hope he's okay. He has had his hiatus before, but he could come back. So let's just hope T's great, man. Big boys, Kiwi says, can't blame it all on Saunders. Nobody really wants to fight Saunders because he is so slick. So he makes fighters look really bad. Well, that is partly true. I will give you Kiwi, I do agree with you on that on Billy Joe Saunders. But at the same time, it's kind of like how we saw Ortiz to that same standard. Yes, you get avoided at some point, but sometime you can't get away with that for so long. You got to fight somebody who's formidable. Andre was willing to fight you, but of course he failed the drug test. So that fight couldn't be made. But what Billy Joe Saunders could have done is wait until after Andre won the title, then somehow, some way he could work his way back up to fight him. But Billy Joe chose not to do it. He decided to go to super middleweight and collect the title that was vacated by Ramirez. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Paul says if AJ fights Wilder, he needs to make the fight in the inside fight. That's true, but to be fair, Marlo, Wilder is just as dangerous in close quarters too. Because he fought Johan Dupont in close quarters, and I'm not, and trust me, I know Johan is no Anthony Joshua. I do know that. But what I'm saying is that he has fought Dupont in close quarters, and he is very lethal there too. He could throw his hooks, he could throw his, and very lethal inside too. So maybe AJ has a good chance of fighting in the inside because he can reach those cuts. They're just as dangerous. That's probably a good way to do it. But the one thing if AJ will have to watch out for is for that right hand. He's gonna have to watch out for it. He's gonna have to keep his left hand up when he fights Wilder in the inside. That's the only way he has a chance of winning that fight. So I do with you on that right there. All right. Listen, y'all. Dwayne says underrating Wilder fighting on the back foot. He rocked Ortiz on the back foot. Yeah, he did. He rocked him. He hurt him badly when he hit him with that counter shot when Ortiz was lunging in the 10th round when he got him out of there. Yeah, he did. Wilder can fight off the back foot. People say he can't. He can. He can really fight off the back foot. Kiwi says Joshua does have good power, but it's still a level below Wilder's power. I do believe Joshua is a more complete fighter, but until they fight, we just don't know who will win. Yeah, the thing about a Kiwi, I have no problem with saying that after what Wilder did to Breazeale, this is definitely a 50-50 fight. Definitely a 50-50 fight. It's just like now we don't know who really is going to win. Some people are not going to edge Wilder. But, we have to see how AJ performs against Andrew Ruiz to change the perception. So we have to see. But, most of us will agree that he's no way. It's going to be tough to get Andrew Ruiz out of there. I mean, Andrew Ruiz has got a very good chin, and he's a very durable guy, more durable than Dominic Breazeale. He's much more slick for a guy who's like over, grotesquely overweight in a way, obese to say, but he's got very good skills. He's got very good hand speed. He's very good with his counter hooks. So Joshua's in there. He's going up against no slouch. Let's be real. And he's taking it on him on the short notice. And I got to give Joshua full credit for that. So, I think that, I think Joshua, like I said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt if he does struggle against Andy Ruiz, which I do think I expect him to struggle early on. And I think he's going to get him out probably no more later than the 6th, 7th round. But Joshua, like I said, he's got to have to impress because I know that's back of his mind right now. He's probably, stressing out. He's under a lot of pressure because if he doesn't perform in front of a crowd that he's not, very accustomed to, and to be fair, he'll have most of his British crowd being there to support him. That's great. But Andrew Ruiz, I mean, Dominic Breazeale is no Andy Ruiz. Let's be real. Andy Ruiz is a much better fighter technically than than Dominic Breazeale. Let's be real. So yeah. Let me see. Yeah, Kurt Sugar, salute to you, brother. Check what I said on Michael Johnson's LDBC channel. I know Michael Johnson. I said Breazeale has a punch of sand before the fight, and I said 1% chance when Virgil Hunter is in the corner, but this guy has no chance. Hey, fair enough. Big Boy says Breazeale's best chance was to rush Wilder and go nuts. He didn't do that and got KO. He may have still got KO going nuts anyway, but I think he would have more chances that way. Yeah, but I think that was back on his mind too, Kiwi, because if he goes nuts, see, here's the thing. Wilder is equally dangerous if you try to go nuts on him, because remember, Luis Ortiz went nuts on him and he couldn't get him out of there. So, so it's just like it's like you're thinking a lot. Well, what do you need to do to beat this guy? Because he's dangerous either way, you know. So that's why it makes Wilder a very, very interesting fighter, very, very unique fighter, I should say. So, yeah. And let's take it real. Let's just keep it real, guys. I'm not, inflating Wilder as if he's the greatest heavyweight of this era. That's yet to be seen. He's still got work to do. We cannot deny this man's skill in his ability to get guys out of there. We got to stop denying that or dismiss it. That's my whole point. So, and I think he will lose at one point of his career. I know a lot of people don't want me to say that, but I think at some point, sometime he will lose. But if he goes undefeated for the remainder of his career, so be great. So we'll see, Ahmed says, yeah, I mean by guard, AJ has to keep distance so he can jab and land the right. Yeah, he can, but the thing is that if you keep your distance, you're giving Wilder a chance to throw that long bomb because his reach is a lot longer than AJ's. So that's going to be I don't know, man. That's why a lot of people are very worried about this, is because now how do you beat the guy? The only guy, again, I have to repeat myself, who's good enough to beat Wilder from a defensive standpoint is Tyson Fury until he got caught twice. So what? I mean, seriously, who? I just don't, like I said, I'm with the AJ fans on this one. We just, you got to be very concerned about this. How do you beat the guy? So, yeah. A message. Do you think if Wilder does what he tried against Breazeale, Joshua has a better chance? Breazeale caught him with a tempo shot and buzzed him. Yeah, I mean, look, if you catch anybody with a tempo shot, that's going to buzz you. It doesn't matter who you are, okay? But yeah, I mean, to be fair though, you do have a bit of a point there, Hamed, because one thing I would have to say as far from a critique, from a constructive standpoint, Wilder's got to stop trying to rush it in on guys if he gets them hurt. If he does sense they hurt, stop rushing on him because you're going to get caught. He almost got caught a couple times against Luis Ortiz. He tried to rush on him a couple times in that fight. So he's got to stop doing that. So going up against Anthony Joshua, he's going to have to be very composed and not rush in because Joshua will be waiting on that and try to counter on him. So that's a good point. That's a good here, Hamed. Mala says for AJ, the key to beating Wilder is to make this an inside fight. Yeah, you guys make some good points, but at the same time, Wilder is a very good inside fighter himself. He just hasn't utilized that as much. But when Jake look at he fought fight inside, so in close quarters. So yeah. Kurt Sugar says Joshua does not have the perpetual or rhythm motion to neutralize Wilder's vaunted right hand. Yeah. I like I said, Kurt Sugar. Yeah, I definitely agree. I just don't. The only way he could try to do it. He could try to keep it inside, but to keep his left hand up. Try similar to what Andre Ward did to Sergey Kovalev. Try to fight that type of fight. And there, Anthony Joshua is not good defensively like Andre Ward. I'm just keeping it real. He's not good defensively like him or crafty like Andre Ward. But it's like people say when Wilder throws that right, even if you put your guard up, he's going to punch right through it, and it's going to hurt badly. It's going to hurt very badly because, the thing is Joshua could keep that guard up, but at some point he's going to feel those shots and he's going to make his hands come down. So it's going to be a long night, man. Really, really. Beer and Weed says that Breazeale was shaking his head because he was in shock and that he wasn't out cold. Hey, maybe. Beer and Weed says how mad Breazeale landed one punch the whole fight, a rabbit punch to the back of the head. It's true. He did. Well, to be fair though, he actually landed the right before the rabbit punch, as you want to call it. But that right didn't hurt Wilder. Wilder actually walked through when Wilder pinned him on the ropes. So that's when Wilder got buzzed with that rabbit punch and pushed him back a little bit. So it is what it is. And to be fair to Breazeale, it wasn't a blatant rabbit punch, but it was something just to get Wilder off of him momentarily. So Miles says AJ Wilder and meat. It's going to come down to who lands first. They're both big bangers and good finishers. AJ just needs to fight in the inside, looking to land the uppercut and use his extra weight. Yeah, that's the only way he could do it. But he's got to find a way to gate the athleticism because Wilder punches all different angles. That's something AJ's not accustomed to, as he's not accustomed to that. Young Merv, what's happening, man? Shout out to you, brother. All right, brother. I'll send the link, Dwayne. Give me a second, man. Let's see. Klitschko would have beaten Wilder, in my opinion. Would have been an interesting fight, but Klitschko would land his right. Yeah, back then he would have, but now, no, that's not happening right now. Not right now, man. Even if Klitschko decides he want to come back, nah, that's not going to happen. He's going to get slaughtered by Wilder if he comes back. I'm being honest. Let's see. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he does. We'll see when that fight happens in the next year or two. If AJ gets Wilder hurt and he could finish him, it's possible he could do it. So we'll see. But one thing I will be cautioned about is that AJ's stamina has always been in question, though, man. His endurance has always been in question. So he's going to have to prove on that if he takes on Wilder, because Wilder has incredible stamina. He could go 12 rounds. He could do it. You know? Hell, I think he has a good stamina to go 15 rounds, like back in the day. But let me see. DOG0082, he says that this was not impressive. I want to see this result in the UK against White. That's how you make a real statement. Yeah, you beat Wilder from the inside and outside just like Fury did. Well, yeah, but Fury got caught twice. And you can argue he almost got knocked out in that 12th round. I don't know how he got up from it, but yeah. So, yeah, you could beat Wilder in the first few rounds, but he will find a way to land that right. And that's why Fury had, and I hate to say this, Tyson Fury backed out that rematch because he knew Wilder was going to improve. He probably knew that, and we saw some improvement in Wilder's fight against Breazeale. So he knew Wilder was going to improve. He didn't want no part of him right now, so that's why he backed out of the rematch. Hopefully he would slow down and then fight him later. And that's what I think what Tyson Fury is angling for, in my opinion. I know I respect Tyson Fury, but I didn't like the way he backed out of that rematch. I didn't like it. So it is what it is. Kiwi says, yeah, Dan, Wilder got to get his emotions under control when he hurts his opponents. If someone plays possum, Wilder could get starched and going wild. Yeah, exactly. I think his corner's been telling him Mark Breland's been telling him to, don't get emotional when you get your opponents hurt. You can't go wild like that because they will counter you. They will. And I think they had to talk about this too after the fight. It's like you almost got caught in Ortiz fight a couple times going in wild like that, and you got caught by Breazeale. So he's got to keep that under control. So yeah, definitely good. You hit the nail on that, Kiwi. Beerweed says Mala. First of all, Wilder's never touched the canvas, so he has been rocked many times. Well, he canvas against what's his name when he was coming up against some journeyman. This is like Wilder's 11th pro fight, I believe. So yeah, he did touch the canvas before, but this is when he was coming up in the ranks. So I'm just being fair. He did touch the canvas, but it's been a long time since he touched the canvas. So be fair, Beerweed. Yeah. So Beerweed rather was walked against Molina, and he was nearly taken out by Ortiz. AJ's far better than him. Well, from a technical standpoint, Mala, yes, he is. But you and I both know that Wilder can land that right on AJ, and AJ's got to he's got to have to look out for that. He's still athleticism, and he's much faster than AJ. That's one of the things that he does have over him, and he also has the reach and the height. So it doesn't necessarily take the skills to be. You could be, let me take that back. There's been many fighters that has more superior skills than the other fighter, and the other fighter who's subpar in the skill set will always find a way to come through and beat the superior skill fighter. So in this case, AJ could lose that fight against Wilder. He could lose it. So you can't be too fixated on skill set. You can't do that because not always the most skilled fighter is going to win the fight against a guy who's subpar skill, like Ricardo Mayorga, with the way he got out Andrew Lewis and Vernon Forrest twice. God rest his soul to both of those men, but Mayorga got those guys out of there. So, and they were more skillful than he was, far more skillful than he was, and he got them out, knocked them both of them out. So, that's just wanted to give you an example there. Marlo's corner, what's up, Marlo? Man, long time no here, brother. Salute, Brad. So, yeah, Schooners is the one that got dropped. That dropped Wilder. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, let's be fair. That was a long time ago, so it is what it is. Wilder learned from that fight. He's gotten a lot better on the world level, so it is what it is. So Big Boy says I can't remember his name. Yeah, it was Harold Schooners. It was Harold Schooners that dropped him. Ones, what's happening, man? He said, "Respect, Dan the man in chat. I see your boy got that first round TKO. Yeah, he did, man. It was very impressive. Ones, I got to get you on here, man. So I'm gonna get you guys on the chat for a second. Before I drop off. Yeah, it was his 14th pro fight. Oh, it was his 11th pro fight. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, they both tasted the canvas. It's just that AJ tasted the canvas against Klitschko. So, I mean, obviously a far better fighter, way better fighter than Harold Schooners, but it is what it is. And they both were knocked out in the amateurs. So, I mean, look, Wilder and Joshua are similar in some ways. But it is what it is. And that's why we got to, get that fight. So, Marlos said that AJ is a straight up and down fighter. Klitschko put him down with a decent, was it decadent or decent finish? Wanted to happen with Wilder. I don't know. It didn't finish with what happened with Wilder. All right, trying to figure out what you're saying, brother. How is AJ ever going to beat Wilder outside if he's going to come in really really get hurt? Well, like I said, man, he cannot win that fight from the outside. I just can't see it. But the only way, as Miles says, is that he's going to have to fight this fight in close quarters and try to take away Wilder's right, throw some uppercuts in the inside. And to be fair, Wilder can fight in the close quarters too. He can fight you in the inside just like he did Duhaupas. He can do it. He just hasn't done it in a while. He can do it. So Sean Davis said, look, AJ has no head movement, straight line. Yeah, he lacks the head movement. That's what's very worrying. As an Anthony Joshua fan, you got to be very concerned about that. Now, to be fair, AJ has more head movement than Dominic Breazeale, but he does lack it sometimes. And his reflexes somewhat been in question. He's got faster reflexes than Dominic Breazeale, but Wilder can land that right, and he's extremely quick with that right because no one saw that right hand coming. You look at that replay, I couldn't see it coming in one instance. I mean, not a replay, but in live motion. I didn't see that right coming from Wilder. I did not see it. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, whoa, Jesus Christ. I mean, wow. Well, to be fair, man, Wilder has more head movement than Joshua. He has a little bit more head movement than he was. And Joshua is more stiff than Wilder. So I'm just being honest there. And to be fair, it's still 50-50 fight, but I will slightly maybe favor Wilder, but it's still 50-50 fight for the most part. So let me see. Let's see. Dan, who has a better chance of Wilder and Joshua fight and the home fighter gets dropped? I don't know, man. Like I said, it's quite 50-50, but I'll probably slightly favor Wilder to win it at this moment. But we have to wait and see, man, because both of their performances they're going to try to one up each other on their performances before they fight. So this is what makes this matchup interesting because they're both going to have impressive performances. If they remain undefeated, they will all have long reigns as champions. Once they eventually fight, that's definitely going to be a super fight, man, of that year when it happens. So, and it will happen. It will happen, but unfortunately, we're going to have to wait, and it's going to take a little time because right now they're on both sides are currently negotiating privately. So we'll see how this turns out. And I think they've already made a deal. They're just waiting for the right time to make the announcement. I'm being honest. I think they've done it. So, yeah, Mala says the greatest let me see. The greatest danger AJ faces is on being on the outside, and Wilder's right. There are still risks on the inside, but it's not as bad if he faces on the outside. So that's where AJ needs to fight. You know what? That's a good point, Mala. Totally agree right there. AJ's better chance to win that fight is keeping it on the inside. He cannot win that fight on the inside. I mean, on the outside. He knows how dangerous it is to fight on the outside against Wilder. So you're absolutely right. Good point there. Good point. I get there's no head movement against Wilder is dangerous, but let's not act like Wilder moves his head any better, in my opinion, more maybe slightly more. Well, I'm not saying Wilder has the best head movement, but his head movement is slightly better than AJ's. Let's be honest, and he does have faster reflexes than AJ. Not just a head movement; he has a very quick reflexes. So yeah, who has a better jab? In my opinion, AJ's right hand is and jab right hand Wilder. AJ's jab is probably better than Wilder's. I agree with that on Ahmed, but Wilder's jab is very underrated. It is very underrated. He may not be known for it, but it's very underrated and has actually hurt a lot of opponents, like Tyson Fury. Now remember when they fought, Wilder jab when he threw a stiff left jab at Tyson Fury, his nose was bleeding and he started to mark up badly. Tyson Fury when Wilder was throwing that left jab in his face. So Marlo says, "Look, Wilder moves it enough. Yeah, he does. And again, he has great reflexes. That's why it makes him, very good defensively. So, yeah. Um, so let me see. Bin Umar in the chat said, "Fuck that 80,000 that damn Wembley shit. Wilder's becoming a household name. Yeah, he is. His popularity is growing. We ain't gonna lie. I disagree. Joshua Klitschko on the outside, but he was more successful on the inside versus Vlad. Well, let's be real. The greatest Vladimir Klitschko was, but he doesn't possess the athleticism and the reflexes like Deontay Wilder. He didn't have that reach like Wilder does. He doesn't possess that power like Wilder does. So I'm sorry. And again, Klitschko was a great fighter, greater than Wilder at that, Wilder right at the moment, but he doesn't have that skill set that Wilder has. I'm just being honest. He doesn't have it or didn't have it in his career. I'm being real. All right, let me get you guys on, and we can chop it up real quickly before I get off here. All right, I'll be back in a moment. All right, y'all, I'm back. So let me go ahead and get you guys, some of the guys, gang on here, and then we'll drop it up real quickly, and then we'll get up out of here because it's getting late. But it's all it is. It is what it is. It's boxing talk at the end of the day. Let's see. Dudes making jokes in the comment section in the chat. All right, hop in, guys. Hop on, guys. Let's see. I know Ben want to get on here. Let's get the guys up in here. I get 5G up in here. All right, let's see what we got here. I don't know. I guess that'd be right there. Let's see who's hop on. Dwayne, I know I cannot hear you, but let me hop on the other side, brother. Hold on for a second, all right?
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
oh, okay. It worked there because I switched the mic. Okay, so we're good. I don't need to go on the other side. What's going on, man?
It's good, man. Listen, I know the way to beat Wilder. I actually know the way to
Ah,
beat him.
is that right? Break it
Yeah,
down for me,
yeah.
brother.
Okay, so if you look at Wilder's fights, if you look at all the fights he's been hurting, the only way you can really hurt Wilder is when he throws, is during an
Right,
exchange. If you look when he fought Ortiz, they both threw at the same time. Ortiz threw
right,
the right hook, caught him. When he fought Eric Molina, they both threw at the same time. Eric Molina threw the left hook, caught him. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Same with Stavern. You know, in the first Stavern fight, I think he wasn't hurt, but he rocked him on the ropes. I don't know if
Right.
you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and yesterday, obviously Wilder was going for it, and Breazeale threw a shot. The first shot obviously hit him in the temple. The second one was in the back of the head, but the first one, like,
yeah.
you saw his head jolt back, but he was still going for it. You know what I mean? That's the only way you can beat Wilder, because you can't try, like, AJ's footwork is not good enough to get on the inside and make Wilder miss.
Right, right,
So and he can't stand him out, box him on the outside, because Wilder's too long, he's too rangy, and he's too quick. So
right.
AJ's best hope is for when Wilder's going for it or Wilder throws, you got to throw with it. That's it. That's
Yeah,
the only chance you got.
yeah,
That's
yeah. It's like
the,
it's right. It's like we're all debating here, and we're all trying to figure out what's AJ's best chance now. And it just to me, based off his talking, it's like now people are a little nervous now. AJ fans like, what's
I don't
going
know,
on? Why?
but when you look at it, you also have to. That's why it takes like the big fights to know what people do at certain points. You know what I
Right,
mean? Because when I look at AJ, ever since he's fought Klitschko, he's just been like he turned gun shy for a bit because he was scared of, obviously, I don't know if he was scared, but he didn't want to get knocked out, or take punishment. You know what I mean? AJ
right,
doesn't fight. AJ, when people throw at AJ, you never see him throw back. You see him covering up.
right,
So he's not gonna. Before that, when you threw, he throw. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's like I said, it's a style thing. Like me, I personally think I've always thought Wilder would beat AJ. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick with my prediction too, but slightly, because I still think there's still possibly 50-50, because we don't know, because the reason why I say that is because both men are going to have impressive victories leading up to their fight eventually. They're going to one-up each other until then. So it's kind of going to go back and forth as far as the predictions concerned, who you think is going to win it. But basically, the reason why people, some people are nervous now, because a lot of people thought that Wilder has slowed down after the Ortiz fight, or more so in the Tiberi fight. They didn't expect him to regain his form against Breazeale. When he literally fought Breazeale. I know it only lasted one round, but it seemed like the old prime Wilder when he fought him. It's like, what the hell? That's what people were afraid. It's like, what the hell? How did this guy come back? How did he was able to regain his form like that?
There was one thing you said about Fury, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of disagreed with.
Okay.
Fury, we need to remember, Fury was out for the ring for like 3 years, yeah? He came back, he had a 6-rounder and a 10-rounder.
Right.
When he fought Wilder, he got tired from the 9th round onwards. Remember,
right.
he never did a 12-round fight. So
against Klitschko, he did.
No. I meant before when he came back.
Okay, when he came back. Okay.
Yeah, and then when he fought Wilder, it was his first 12-round fight. So to be fair, we actually have to give Fury credit, yeah, for actually even at the time when he was probably going to be most fatigued. Because you remember, he cut a lot of weight, yeah, and it's the first time he was actually doing a 12-round fight. So we actually kind of have to give Fury more credit than we actually think.
Yeah, I agree with that. See, here's the thing. Some people was trying to strip credit away from Fury because everybody keeps saying Wilder's a bum. He's the same old one-punch reliable knockouts. That's all he's got, is that right hand, this, that, and the third. I'm like, no. First of all, Fury, it took a lot of heart to going up against a prime Deontay Wilder. Let's be real, okay? It takes a lot of fortitude to do what Fury did, coming off a 3-year layoff, coming back with 2 tune-up fights against a bunch of cab drivers. Let's be real. Pianetta, was one, somewhat of a contender when he fought Klitschko, but he had no business being there against Klitschko. Safiri, nobody really heard of what Albanian cruiserweight. So it's like, yeah, you got to give Fury a lot of credit because it's like, wow. Seriously, he was able to take a dominant heavyweight champion, to distance. He almost got knocked out. Let's be real. He almost was out. He found it hard to get back up and survived that Wilder's onside in that 12th round. But it's just like, I know some people are saying that Breazeale knockout by Wilder proves how good Fury is defensively. That is obviously.
I think so as well. I think I've always said the only guy that was going to beat Wilder in the heavyweight division is Tyson Fury. It's Tyson Fury. He's hands down. He's the only guy because he can make you miss all night, and that's why I said like if Wilder had fought Fury after Fury had a couple world level fights and it was the first time Wilder fought him, I would have been surprised if Tyson Fury had won the fight. Now I think Wilder's the type of guy, when you give him a rematch, he'll figure you out.
Yeah, he's going to adjust. And that's probably why. And to be honest with you, I think Fury knew that. He thought Wilder was not going to take the rematch when he signed on to it. He's like, oh, fuck, he's taking the rematch? Okay, let me put this back. Let me get out of this. And let me just see. Hopefully he slows down and I'll take the rematch with him later. That's probably what his team told him to do. You don't need to go back in there right now against Wilder because he almost knocked you out. That man will adjust in the rematch against you. So let's step back. Let's take us some fights on our end. Let's build our profile in America because you have a profile now. And that's what his team told him. You have a profile in America now. You can make more money here. Let's take some, some, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to call step up fights because Tom Schwartz is not a step up fight. Let's be real. Let's take some,
Tom Schwartz is a fight that you go from after a hard fight, you go to an easy fight. You know what I mean?
Right. I guess it's one. I guess they're trying to make it a showcase fight just to make him impressive in the U.S. crowd for his first headlining a card in the United States. So they're trying to make an impression, and then then from there, let's put him in here against somebody a little bit more formidable. Like the next fight after that, I have a feeling they're going to have Brian Jennings as be the next opponent after Tom Schwartz. I have every reason to believe that. Every reason to believe that. That's my view.
Yeah, I agree.
What's up?
Is Ahmed in there?
Yeah, Ahmed's in here. It was So what's up, Ahmed?
Yeah, how's it going, Dan? It's been a while, man.
Yo, Ahmed, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Wayne?
I don't know. Ahmed?
Can you hear him?
I can hear him. I don't know if you can hear him.
What? I can't even hear the guy. See, I can hear you, but I can't hear him. What's going on here? Because I'm checking my mic. My mic is fine. Because let me see.
Can you hear me now?
No, that's not it. Voice.
No, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can't hear me either, but we can hear each other. I don't know what's going on with this damn plug-in over here. I thought, on the Hangout, everything was cool. Let me see.
Should I jump back out?
Ahmed, can you hear me? Oh, he jumped off.
He left the hand. He's gonna jump back on.
Okay. Let's see if that works.
Okay, jump back on.
Come back in. Ahmed, can you say something?
Could you hear me? Good.
Let me turn this mic up. Let me see if that works. Say something, Ahmed.
Hello, could you hear me?
I can hear him, but
it could be.
Yeah, this is weird what my Hangout does. It's like I can hear you, but I can't hear him. So all right, looks like I'm gonna have to do it on my phone. Hold on for a second, y'all. Just hold on. Let me mute this and let me just get on the other side. Hold on.
Could you hear me now?
All right, that's better. What's going on, y'all?
All right, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I think it was I could hear some feedback. That's the only thing,
Yeah,
though.
let me take care of that right now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So let me just see. Yeah, that sounds all right. Yeah, you sound better. The other one, your volume was a bit low as well.
Yeah, I just couldn't hear
No,
you at
no,
all. I don't know.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, man. I got to figure this out with this hangout because it's been acting up for the last few days. It's like I can hear certain people that, like Dwayne, for example, on there, but I cannot hear other people at all. So I don't know what's going on. I have to get these bugs fixed on it. I don't know, but it is what it is. So
One
speak on
sec,
it,
I'll be
brother.
back. One sec. I'll be back. I
Oh,
just need to sort something out.
all right, go ahead, man. Go ahead, do what you gotta do. Yeah, so Dwayne. Yeah, so yeah, so Ones is in the chat. Ones is what's up, Ones. One says that AJ's tailor made for Wilder. What do you think
He is.
about that?
He is.
Yeah,
He is. But
yeah,
AJ, the one thing I like about AJ is he's got good composure. So even when he's rattled,
yeah,
he doesn't really show it. So that could help him. Like I said, in a situation, if he gets hurt and Wilder comes for him, it could help him. You know what I mean?
right,
In that type of situation.
right. I
So
agree. I agree on that. But let me see. Marlo's in the chat. Marlo's corner says, "Look, styles make fights. Says if you're an AJ fan, you don't see major threat in Wilder, and you're not a boxing fan. You're a man fan." I'm like, okay, all right, Marlo.
that's true. It's true because like I said, AJ is my guy in it, but
Yeah.
I just think Wilder beats him every day of the week.
But hey, Dwayne, though, here's the thing, man. You're not the only one, man. Because like I said, I've been observing a lot of comments today. And a lot of dudes are like, man, I ride with AJ. I'm behind him, but after what I saw last night, I don't know, man. I don't know if should get in there against Wilder. I just don't know. I'm very nervous. Literally, there's guys who are very nervous now. It's like, at first they were hoping they could get some reassurances that they would be more confident that if AJ did step in the ring with Wilder, he would definitely beat him for sure. If he performed badly against Breazeale, but dude, you know. I don't it's 50-50, but you and I in agreement. We would slightly favor Wilder to beat him at this point, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but we'll see though. Yo,
Yes, Dan. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
what's
Go on
up,
now,
man?
man.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
speak on.
I think I favor Joshua slightly, man, because
Okay.
it depends how well the fights. If he tries bum rushing him, I think that could backfire.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one. That's the one thing I want Wilder to understand is like you got to be composed when you get an opponent hurt. Don't be lunging in like that because what if they play possum and they're going to get you? Don't do that. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I think the other thing is that I don't think Wilder's fought. I know you could see it back and forth. That I don't think he's fought anyone that punches as hard as Joshua. You could see obviously the same thing because Wilder's the biggest puncher, but I do think
You think
that
Ortiz doesn't punch as hard as Joshua?
no, I think there's a big difference.
I don't know. I think they're
I think Ortiz can punch, but I don't think Ortiz is as big as. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question, but I do
yeah.
think.
I think they're put.
Ortiz to me is a powerful counter puncher.
Yeah,
That's what he is.
they're. Yeah, he does knock out people with that piston left hand. He has done that. So I would say their punching level is about on the same. AJ and Ortiz. That's just my view. I think it's about the same. I'm not saying Ortiz is more powerful than AJ. I don't see that. I think they're equally punching powers the same. Because you have to understand, AJ is not a one punch knockout artist. He's an
No,
accumulation puncher. Yeah,
I think I could hear feedback, but don't worry, I'll just go for it. I think Joshua is a better finisher. Like I think if he gets Wilder hurt like that, I think you finish him off. You could obviously say the same thing. Like
yeah,
when Klitschko dropped Joshua, obviously Wilder would have finished him off. But I do think though you can compare the power in terms of Klitschko. When Joshua fought him, he had
yeah.
close to 60 knockouts. I still do think Wilder hits harder. Like we've seen how he's putting people to sleep with one punch. And
Right.
I think someone like he said that he sparred both of them and he fought actually Klitschko. He said Wilder with 20-ounce sparring gloves hits harder than Klitschko did with 10-ounce gloves. So I,
Yeah,
I, I do think Wilder hits harder, but I think I think it depends. Joshua can't do the mistakes he made with Klitschko. If he does the same, he will get knocked out. But I do
yeah.
think I do think he'll be able to take shots. Like I think some people, like I'm not saying anyone specifically, like on Facebook groups, they think all Wilder has to do is just land one shot and it's over. I do,
Yeah,
I
I
do
agree with
think,
you on that, man. I do agree
I,
with you on that. I think it's going to take a little bit more work for Wilder to knock out Joshua. It may take a couple hard shots to do it, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
no, I do think he can knock him out. Like the shot he got Breazeale with, obviously he can knock him out with that, but I
Yeah,
don't think he'll knock him out through the guard with one or two shots. Like I do think he'll take a bit longer. I think if Joshua gets counted and Wilder just catches him, Wilder could end it, and Wilder could knock him out if he hits him with something that Joshua don't see it. But I don't think it'll
yeah,
be like, I don't think it'll be just a basic 1-2, and Joshua sees the shots and he goes down. I do think Joshua can take shots, but
yeah.
again,
It could be the feint 1-2. What I mean by the feint, you feint with the jab, they come with the right because Wilder is very good at feinting with that left
oh
jab.
yeah, yeah,
That's the one punch that people do not see that coming. They think when he throws the left hook jab, they expect he's going to extend it, but when he doesn't extend it, they don't expect the right coming in because they think he's extending that left arm for that jab. So that's what makes him dangerous. It's like it's like, dude, even though you feel that it's coming, but it's so damn quick, you don't have enough time to get to outmaneuver it.
oh yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to say the thing with
Go.
Wilder. The one thing I noticed as well is
Yeah,
he'll always throw the 1-2,
yeah,
especially after the referee has broken you up. Because if you look at, I can't remember who he fought. Who was that guy he fought and he knocked out so bad? And I can't remember. I think his name
Spilker was it
Price.
Spilker?
No,
yeah.
Price. Is it Price? The guy who
Kelvin
beat.
Price. Yeah, Kelvin
Yeah,
Price.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look, the ref. It was kind of like the same one as yesterday. The ref
Yeah,
broke him up. Wilder walked towards him. Boom. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's how it is.
I thought that Kelvin Price knockout was bad. That was horrible. But I think
Yeah,
Diamond
that
Brazil
was
one was.
crazy.
Yeah, I thought the Diamond Brazil one was probably bad, probably worse in my opinion.
Yeah,
But I think
Calvin Price seen the punch, but it was such a big shot that he couldn't get
Yeah.
back up. Brazil did not see. I barely seen the shot. That's what I mean. The feint right hand is basically like a shot that you don't see. But if it's like
yeah,
when the first two right hands he let go, those you could see. But
yeah.
Yo,
obviously,
who was it that he knocked out that was having a seizure on the ground?
That was
uh,
Sergey Lahovic.
Yeah,
Lahovic.
oh, that
right.
was a
Yeah,
bad knocker.
yeah.
That
That
was
was
Man,
fucking vicious,
Wilder's
boy.
Wilder. I think yesterday everybody confirmed that Wilder's power was on another level. People were
No,
brave would have
and
known
I
that
heard.
Wilder's power was better than AJ's, but the AJ fanboys were like, "Nah, AJ got the same type
Nah,
of power."
Now
Joshua's
Josh was a
never
good
knocked
fighter.
people
He's
out
a
with
good
one.
fighter, but he can't punch like that. He can't
Nah,
yeah. He
punch.
can't.
that punching
Yeah,
was.
I don't
Joshua's
think
yeah.
gonna have
Joshua
to.
has put anyone to sleep like that. Like I don't even the
Bro, the
majority of Joshua's
only way
knockouts.
Joshua can win that fight is if he fights a fucking brilliant fight. He has to fight a brilliant fight,
Nah,
flawless fight, and the
he's.
problem is Joshua don't move his head. There's no way he can win that fight. I'm
Mhm.
keeping it real. I'm being very
Yeah,
real
yeah,
with
yeah.
him. There's
No,
no
the
way
only
he can
way, the
win.
only way, like I said, Joshua can win that fight. If you looked at all the times Wilder's been hurt, it's been an exchange. He's always thrown and someone's thrown and caught him off guard. That's the only time he's
I
ever been
think
hurt.
Wilder can
Bro,
get knocked
bro,
out,
I
man.
agree with you. The only way he can win, right, is if Wilder hurts him first,
Yep,
and Wilder
yep.
does that dumb shit. He runs in, and
Hmm.
Joshua comes back with some quick shit. Bang, puts him to
Yeah,
Yeah,
sleep.
that's the only
yeah.
way
That's
he
his
can win.
best chance. That's his best
That's
fucking chance.
I agree. That's his best chance, and I wish Wilder would keep that under control. Like, don't do that, man. I wish Mark Breazeale get in his ears. Like, dude, you keep getting caught when you do that. Stop doing that.
No,
You
but
know?
Mark Breland's old ass ain't gonna say nothing, man.
it,
Come on.
it's a common thing though. Ortiz caught him coming in as well. I think Joshua can knock him out. The only thing is, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
but
I
you
don't
should.
think Joshua. I think Joshua going on the inside is dangerous. I agree with Dan.
Yeah,
Walder's on the inside. Wilder gets shots off, and you don't want to
yeah,
be that
but
close
like
to
I said,
someone.
He's too fast,
if
bro.
you
He's
look
too fast.
if you looked at when Ortiz caught him, Ortiz had to take a big shot to the head before he actually hurt Wilder with
Yes,
the right hook.
yes, he did.
He
He had to
had
walk
to.
through something.
Yeah, you have when the three times we've seen Wilder hurt properly, yeah, the three times we've seen him hurt is he's been loading off on people and they've caught him. That's how it is. When Molina staggered him with the left hook, Wilder threw a left hook as well. They both
Right.
threw a left hook at the same time.
Yeah,
There's
it's true.
that's
Yeah,
how it is.
Molina's was shorter.
Yeah, so that's how you have to beat him. That's the only way you can beat him. And to be fair, at that time, Wilder wasn't this type of Wilder.
Yeah, he wasn't. He
Spiritually,
No,
was.
no.
spiritually and everything,
He's a
he's
different
different
animal,
now.
bro. He's a different animal, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I'm
gotten better
telling you,
after that.
bro. He's too fast. He's too fast. I'm
I
hmm
telling
would
you right now.
say I
What
would
I
say
seen
one
last
thing.
night proved to me that nobody is ready for that type of speed heavyweight division.
I
That
would say
nigga
one
threw that
thing.
straight right hand so quick, boy.
That was a good shot. I would say one thing though. I'm quite surprised that him and Joshua want to fight. Like after last night, no, what I mean is after last night, I think like, would you really want to take that fight? Like you got a lot more to lose, I think, than Wilder has. Like
Yeah, I
I,
think that.
yeah. But
I
the difference is, they got a lot more to lose than Wilder has. But if they don't fight Wilder, they still got more to lose. Do you understand?
Bro,
right.
people will turn on him.
Wilder
You
can
guys will
come.
turn on him eventually.
Wilder can fight Ortiz and beat Ortiz better than he did before, and people will say, "Oh my God, he's better." AJ can fight Dillian White and beat Dillian White better than before, and people just say, "Oh, AJ's still the same."
but he's
You
got
No,
understand?
eighty,
they're
90.
gonna say
Well,
he's ducking Wilder.
to be fair, Dillian White is in better form than Ortiz. Let's be real. And I like Luis
Bro, did
Ortiz.
you guys Dan, did you see the video with a random white woman that I've
Yeah.
never heard of in my life said, oh, why? Because he's ducking Wilder?
Oh yeah.
What? That shit is spreading like wildfire over in this country. I don't even
No,
know
no,
who
no,
that
no,
white
no. You
bitch
know
is,
why? You know
but she
why?
knows.
She works for Fox. That woman works for Fox.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know who the
Yeah.
fuck she is, bro.
I don't know who
I
it
don't
is
know
either.
her.
I don't know.
That was the same bitch that Lavar told to stay in her lane. That woman.
Oh, that's that bitch. Oh, you're right. That is that bitch. Stay
Yeah.
in your lane. Yeah, you're right.
Oh
You're
yeah,
right. You're right.
LeVar Ball. I remember that segment. It was funny. LeVar Ball. I mean, I like that motherfucker, but he had me rolling in that segment.
Yeah,
He like,
man.
stay in your damn lane. Don't talk to me. Hey, but for real though. Man, that is an interesting point because it's like, okay, maybe if you're hurting Joshua, the best thing you want to do is wait till Wilder slow down at this point. You're gonna have to. That'd be
No,
the best thing what you
Bruh.
want to do.
if Wilder
It's gonna
knocks
be
him out,
problems. It's gonna be
if Wilder
problems,
knocks
man.
him out, I think it'll be. If Wilder knocks Joshua out, he loses a
Listen,
lot. He
you
could
know,
still
yesterday,
no.
yeah, I was even when the fight was happening, I was even looking at Wilder's jab. That shit, like it was quick and it had a lot of mustard on it. I was like, nah. I was-
Yo, we gotta make room. We gotta make room for the world's greatest hater. Edge Note just stepped on the line.
oh no,
Yeah,
no,
I saw
let's
it.
Let Blood Dog talk.
Hey, what up, Edge?
Edge note. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up,
Hey
Edge?
man, I was just phoning. I just came on to see if he was still there, man. I have to go get ready, man. Like
This,
6 o'clock in the morning over here, man. Like, what the hell?
my bad. I didn't know. That's right. You guys like 7-8 hours ahead of me. I'm in the West Coast, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. But yeah, man, it's late over here. But yeah, I just wanted to chop this up before we all get to bed. But or you guys, your guys say you guys get up in the morning, start your day. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I just wanted to get to this real quickly because as you know, we all talked about this already, but I don't know, man. It seems like you're one of the minority who still think that AJ demolishes Wilder in this fight after what happened last night.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm very confident. There's nothing that I've seen in Wilder that makes me believe. Like, obviously, he knocked out Dominic Brazil, but like, this is a heavyweight division. Anyone can knock out anyone on their day. Do you know what I mean? I've seen Ratman knock out Lennox Lewis. I've seen Lennox Lewis get knocked out quite a few times, and he's one of the greatest heavyweight champions. Do you know what I mean? Muhammad Ali got knocked out, so
Lennox
him
only got
knocking out an
knocked out
opponent,
twice.
so him knocking out an opponent is not surprising because it's the heavyweight division. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So. But the thing is, I'm looking at what does he have other qualities? Because if that right hand don't work, does he have a plan B?
But after last night,
I don't think he does.
After last night, I gotta say Joshua Wilder could end in 1 or 2 rounds, and that's not good because I was thinking about if that was in the UK paying a lot of money. I'm not sure if I
No,
want to. I'm not sure if I want to pay too much money to see a 1 round fight.
no, but no, I know it's going. I know that he's just going to knock him out. I know that I just know it. It's not gonna be a 12 round
that is
fight.
bold by Edge, though. Hey, you know
I'm
what
telling
though?
you, I said it from day one. It's not going to be a 12 round Klitschko versus Joshua fight, because the reason why Klitschko and Joshua lasted 11 to 12 rounds because it was very tactical. It was a very tactical fight, yeah, and that was the reason why it lasted as long as it did. whereas Wilder is not that a technical fighter.
But has Joshua stopped anyone inside a couple of rounds? Like when he stepped up, Joshua normally takes his time though. That's what I'm trying to say. So, Joshua. So if Wilder tries bum rushing him, Joshua will have to. He'll have to try and engage with him early.
No, try to rush in is not his style. Trying rushing in is not good for him because when he tried it with Klitschko, with Fury, he hit Fury. Fury went back and then he tried to swing the windmills shot straight away and it didn't work with Fury because Fury knew how to handle those kind of situations.
So
but
does Joshua have footwork or head movement like Fury? The answer is no.
No. But the thing is, he doesn't have to hit head movement. He doesn't have to head movement.
It's not comparable, bro. It's not comparable. The situation
even Ortiz didn't have head movement footwork. That went 7-8 rounds.
Apples to oranges, man.
But that's what I'm trying to say. But that's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to have that with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, if you walk to him with straight lines, then he's going to connect with you. The same thing will happen with Dominic Breazeale. He went in with straight line. He dropped his hand down. And then he just done a 1-2. It was gone. It was over.
Breazeale did. To be fair to what Breazeale did, he tried to counter with the left uppercut when he saw the left jab coming in. That's what he tried to do. That's what he tried to do. He didn't see that right coming in edge. That's what happened to Breazeale. He didn't see
the right coming in because what happened is in the beginning of the fight, he came in and he came in. He tried to move forward and he does his jab, but he starts his jab. His jab is weak. He starts his jab from a low position. Which when he started jabbing from a low position, then all you have to do is do a 1-2 straight and it hits him in his face. And Deontay Wilder knew this. Like I said to you, as soon as he did the overhand, until he did the overhand in the beginning, he went back straight away, and that was like a soft. That wasn't even a hard punch, and he went back. So as soon as you see that, then you're thinking, wait a minute, that means your jab is weak. He can just blast through you, like, do you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm trying to see. So Wilder might approach it different. The way he approached the Ortiz fight, he showed him respect.
Yeah, he did. He showed him a lot of respect.
The way he approached the first win fight, he showed him respect. I'm saying this fight, I don't know. This could go maybe late or could go early. It depends how both guys approach the fight.
But this is what I'm saying because the same thing with Kell Brook and Triple G. Kell Brook and Triple G, like when Kell Brook hit Triple G. He didn't respect his power, so he just went forward and he just knew he was gonna blast him out. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why he went to Dominic Breazeale and went, you know what? I'm just gonna blast you out. Your jab is weak. I'm just gonna. I know you can't hurt me. Boom.
But the thing is, he actually did hurt Wilder for a few seconds.
That was because Wilder left all his chin, head, whatever.
So when he caught him, you saw Wilder's legs stiffen up a little bit.
Wilder showed him no respect, though. That's why.
But that's what I mean. Like, because he went. The reason why he got hit is because he went wilding in with his windmills like he normally does, and then he got caught. But this is what I mean. But then as soon as he got his composure, back, and he went, okay, cool. I don't need to do that.
I don't think Wilder will do that with Joshua. I could hear feedback.
But the thing with Wilder is it's not even the power, it's the speed. Like, you don't see it. That's the thing.
No, but Wilder's not going to do that with Joshua. Would he really open up in the first round of a 100 million
like Joshua's
fight?
A great counterpuncher. Joshua.
What I'm trying to see is Wilder will show him respect. Like, this is the best guy he's fought. Like, both guys will show each other respect. Like, I think it could go maybe at least 2-3 rounds. At least I don't think it'll be over in one round.
I predicted
it's possible.
6. I predicted 6 because obviously Joshua is not going to go in the same light. The thing is, he's going to go and try and dominate the ring, and then he's going to try and move. He tries to move his head he tries to move his hands up, and he'll try and move.
Okay, so wait, Edge, you think it'll take 6 rounds for Wilder to knock out AJ then?
No, it'll take 6 rounds to AJ to knock out Wilder. It'll take 6 rounds to AJ to knock out Wilder.
Well, but for real, Edge, how long did you think this fight was going to last between Breazeale and Wilder? Wilder and Breazeale.
I thought it was going to be like at least 7 rounds because I thought that Dominic Breazeale was going to start cautious. I didn't think he was going to try to go at him straight away because I thought if you try to go at Wilder straight away, he's going to knock you out. So I thought he was going to be cautious and just try to be a little bit cautious in the beginning and that's why I thought it was going to last longer. But
Breazeale's game plan is bad, man. I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Then
you can't do that.
Before the fight started, they were saying that oh no, he's going to look to go attack him straight away. I was like, flipping, oh man. I was like, come on, man.
That's
Do you know
what
what I
I
mean?
even
Like,
said.
and I
I said,
messaged it in the group chat. I said, I hope it don't go first round like it did with Stavern. I don't know if you don't know if you guys saw it in the chat. I
Yeah, I
messaged
didn't see
it. I
that
said,
one. I did not see that one.
yeah, because I messaged it in the chat. I said, please, I said, I hope this don't go one round like Savern, because I heard what their game plan was, and I was like, for God's sake, man. I knew, you know what I mean? I knew everyone was going to start talking as soon as this happens, man. And it happened. I was like, so
I
pissed.
posted in the other, I posted in the other group. I said Brazil has got a 1% chance. Like, as soon as I saw how focused Wilder was looking and
Yeah, Wilder looked very focused. He looked very relaxed. I mean, the dude was like very composed. Breazeale to me looked like the one who was pretty nervous.
yeah,
He
Brazil
looked like
looked amped up. He wanted to just fight. I thought it'd be over in about 2 or 3 rounds. Like, I
right.
was surprised he took him out in the first though. I didn't expect it to be that early.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought, because I saw, as soon as I saw the overhand left in the beginning, man, and he went back, and I went, dude, that's not even his hardest punch. He's using his left hand, and it was an overhand left, and it didn't even connect, and you're going backwards. Do you know what I mean? I was like, come on, like, if you're going back with that, then if he comes in with any force at all, you're going down, man.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but
I
like,
hear you. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
no, but at the end of the day, is what it is. Like, look, in the day, look, Wilder did what he's supposed to do. Like, but my thing now is, it's like, look, we need to get, like, Joshua gets Ruiz out the way. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
tougher fight, but I don't care. Look, styles make fights. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the
all
day,
right.
get Ruiz out the way, and then Anthony Joshua and Wilder need to get it on. I mean,
Yeah, I hear.
How do you guys think Wilder would fare with Ruiz and Joseph Parker? Do you think he could blast those guys out?
Joseph Parker, I don't think so. Andrew, man, actually, those are both two tough fights in my opinion. I don't think he'll blast them out, but if he does blast them out, I'll be very, very, very shocked if he does it. I know people are gonna say,
I don't think he will, because
uh,
Anthony Parker is a very slick mover. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. So that's what I'm
He
saying.
won't stay in there like Dominic Breazeale
And
will.
he does have faster reflexes than Brazil. He can move his head. He's very slick. So that's why if Wilder does blast him out, if he blasts out Ruiz, I'll be very shocked if he does that to those two guys.
I want
Very
to
If he,
see
shocked.
if,
those fights. I rather
Me
see
too.
those fights than the Ortiz rematch.
I do, and I
Konaki,
said that. Yeah, I
I
did
don't
see
mind Konaki. I don't mind Konaki, but I
me.
rather see Joseph. I rather see Joseph Parker now
if
that Josh was fighting Ruiz.
I agree, and I said this too early on in my hangout. I said, look, I rather the Ortiz fight. I don't mind seeing the rematch, but that could wait. That I think there should be other fights that should proceed over that. Like I said, Joseph Parker is ranked by the WBC. That's the only sanctioned body he's ranked by right now. He's ranked number 6, so
Yeah,
we could get that. We could get that fight made. You know,
wouldn't
get
it be
that.
better if Ortiz and Joshua fought and Wilder and Parker fought like 2 different fights? That'd be
I like
better.
that. I like
Yeah,
that. I like
that'd
that.
be a good plan, I think.
Yeah, I agree. But anyways, I got Mike in the chat. Mike from Pound for Pound Boxing Report. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Dan? What's going on, fellas?
How's it
Good,
going?
brother. Good, brother. I know we're talking about Wilder in Brazil. I know we're going to transition to Inoue shortly, but wanted to ask you, what's your thoughts about the fight that happened last night on Wilder in Brazil? I know it lasts only 53 seconds, but what's your thoughts?
I mean, look, in spite of all the talk from Brazil, the fight was pretty much what I expected. Uh, Brazil, one, he doesn't have the head movement, he doesn't have the footwork, doesn't have the overall athleticism to deal with Wilder. You knew that once Wilder found a way to zone in with the jab, find a way to get home with the right hand, he was going to knock him out, and he did just that.
Yeah, yeah. But did you expect it to last more than at least fight? You didn't expect it to last this quickly?
I expected maybe to go maybe 3-4 rounds, but once Brazil clapped him with, I think it was a right hand that got his attention.
Yeah.
He got a little bit too brave for his own good, and once that happens, you knew that he was basically setting himself up to get knocked out, and that's what we saw.
Right. And here's the one thing you gotta say about Dominic Brazil, though. Good point. And he's not a great fighter. We know he's not a great heavyweight, but he's definitely a formidable heavyweight. He has a world class chin. He's never been hit like that before. Even though AJ beat him down, but he's been bit down against Israel Gane and Amir Mansour, who could equally punch as hard. But Wilder's on another level. I mean, nobody. I mean, seriously. I mean, he never felt power like that before. And when he went down the way he did, and he crumbled. I'm like, oh Lord. I hope he was okay. Really, honestly. That sounded like a shotgun from a barrel when the way he went down when that punch had landed.
I thought he got killed, man. I'm not lying. I thought, God
I call
no.
it sniper rifle, man. Sniper rifle.
No, it's the way he dropped. It's the like it was what's the word? It's like a collapse.
He like collapsed. Yeah, he like collapsed. He was like motionless like for a good couple of seconds. He was like really. I mean, let's be real. He knew the count.
To be fair, like it was a knockout, but he got up. He got up though, right towards the end.
Yeah, it was
like because when I see Dillian White versus Chisora, I mean, like I thought Dillian White, man, I thought he was gonna have to go to hospital, man. He wasn't getting up.
I mean,
it still looking after him, like, do you know what I mean? So, but to be fair, Dominic Breazeale, he got up like later.
He got up on 11 or 12, and the count is over by then.
If it was a 15 count, he would have survived it. If it was a 15
count, he was gone, but he was all over the place.
It wasn't Hearns Duran in '84, but still it was impressive still.
Yeah, it was impressive.
It was a good knockout, man. It was a good knockout, but it was a good knockout. So he did what he had to do, man. He did what he had to do, but it's just a different kettle of flesh. If you find Tyson Fury and you find Anthony Joshua, they're two different kettle of fishes. Do you know what I mean? Like even against Dillian White, like I don't think he'll blast out Dillian White to take that kind of way.
I don't know about that one. I'm gonna say this right now. I think even though Dillian White is better technically than Dominic Breazeale, but he does equally have slow feet like Dominic Breazeale, and he doesn't. I'm just being honest. He's equally slow. He's equally just as slow, man. I'm just being real. Dillian is equally just as slow, but a little bit faster, but equally slow like Dominic Breazeale. I'm just being honest.
No, don't get me wrong. Dillian White is slow, but he's not as he's a little bit ring savvy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's better. He knows how to. Yeah, he knows how to utilize that ring a little bit better than Dominic Breazeale. I will give you that. He's better than him technically.
Yeah, I think he would know not to go in like the way that Dominic Breazeale went in.
I think if Wilder tries bum rushing White, I think White knocks him out. Like you can't. You can't come in with a guy with that vicious left hook. Like if you walk into that, I think you're going to see. But
Dillian White has proven he can knock people out as well, man. Do you know what I mean? Like he's been knocking people out in his fights recently. Do you know?
Well, I mean, Lucas Brown. I mean, come on, Lucas Brown. Parker. He didn't knock him out, but he almost got knocked out by Joseph Parker. Come on.
But he knocked him down.
That was a bad left hook, though. That was a bad left hook, though.
Parker down before, man. And Chisora, that was sniper rifle shot, man.
He struggled.
Killed him in there.
Yeah, he struggled in that fight, though. He struggled in that fight. It was a good fight, but he struggled in both of those fights. I mean, it is what it is. It was still a good fight, but I don't know. Dillian is just to me.
I think Wilder will win. Don't get me wrong. I think Wilder will beat Chisora, will beat Dillian White, but I just don't think it's not going to be like. It's not going to be one round.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think it's going to be like more of a 5-7 round fight, maybe 8 rounds.
If it was one round, then I'll be impressed. I'm going to say, look, I'm not going to lie. I'll say, look, man, if he knocks him out like he did Dominic Breazeale in one round, then I'll be like, yeah, I'll be impressed. But, you can't help but, do you know what I mean? Because no one, because Dillian White is a decent opponent, and you wiped him out. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. Hey, Ones is in the chat. One's media. Shout out to Ones. He's from the UK himself. Ones is like, hey man, look, White is an obese heavyweight. He'll get knocked out within 3 rounds.
To be fair. Like Dillian White, it looks more fitter now since he's been since he's training properly and stuff like that. When you compare him, how he was with Anthony Joshua the first time and how he is now, he looks much more fitter.
Yeah, he does. It does. And Ones actually doesn't quite disagree with you, as on Dillian's left hook. He's like, look, no, sir. First of all, that was a lazy left hand he threw against the Jordan, and he set this out of his own mouth.
Who?
Dillian White. This is what Ones is saying. He disagreed with you, what you just said about that left hook that he throws.
What are you talking about? If you look, he's proven my point. He wiped out Chisora with a lazy left hook. That means that he wasn't even really wanting to hurt him too much. And look what happened to Chisora. Imagine if he actually had bad intentions. He'll be dead. He'll be dead. He should be lucky there was a lazy left hand. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You can't tell me he's late. You can't tell me he's not good. He's not got power because he did a lazy left hand and knocked somebody out.
I think that left hook could knock Wilder out. The reason being, that when he landed on AJ. AJ showed he had a good chin, but even AJ was all over the place. His legs were gone.
Yeah, he was out on his feet. Yeah, he was out on his feet when he got hit.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
If Dillian White,
but go ahead.
Like, this is heavyweight boxing. Like AJ's got a decent chin because he's been hit in a couple of times, and he's wobbled and he went down. He's got back up. But I'm telling you, Wilder connects him clean. Then I don't know if he's going to get back up again. I don't know. This is. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
I think Joshua's got a better chin than Wilder's. It is quite hard to tell at the moment, but going by the guys they fought.
But I think, let's just be real. I think both their chins are equally at the same on par with each other at this moment.
But this is what I mean. Like, Wilder ain't been tested. Wilder hasn't been tested.
What do you mean he hasn't been tested? What do you mean?
Against Ortiz. Think about it. Like when has he been hit?
Ortiz was tested.
Ortiz did a clean.
No, he was tired, man. That's
no. Ortiz clean. What are you talking about? Edge though, come on, man.
I saw it in the 7th round, and he was tired.
Edge,
one sec. Edge, I wouldn't go that far, but Dan, the right hand that Klitschko landed on Joshua, I think if that landed on Wilder, that could probably knock Wilder out. Like, I'm surprised.
That's what I'm talking about. He was hit. He was on the ropes. He was getting hit, but it wasn't like, how can he? If it was a proper tough.
Listen, Edge. No, Wilder got hit with a right hook by Luis Ortiz, and that staggered him at the end of the 7th round. Ortiz landed he got saved by the bell, but he was hit by like 30 unanswered shots in that fight.
That's what I mean. 30 unanswered shots. How can it take you 30 unanswered shots and he's still up? That's what I'm telling you right now.
That's because he has a chin. He has a chin.
No.
Jan sent some questions. Jan sent some questions.
There's no.
You did answer some questions. Come on, Edge. Though I was agreeing with you most of your points. Edge. Though I do agree with you on most of your points in this hangout. But that one right there, come on, man. As Ahmed said, though, you don't have. You don't have to like Deontay Wilder, but you got to give him credit. He did answer questions in that fight against Ortiz. He did.
Those were big shots
in that fight. But like, I don't think that was a proper test because. Like, I don't rate Ortiz's power. I don't rate Ortiz's power. No. Because since he
okay, you go ask Deontay Wilder.
Listen.
You go ask him if you tell him how his power is.
Since he knocked out Brian Jennings, when has he wiped somebody out? Like,
oh, come on, man. Brian Jennings Klitschko couldn't even knock out Brian Jennings. And that
was 2015. No. Because there's always there's fighters on the way up, they get knockouts easily. When you're on the way up, you get knockouts easily. But when you step up to
one second,
I
think why he's trying to say Klitschko is a bigger puncher. No denying that, but Ortiz can punch. Like Ortiz is not a soft puncher. The guy could actually crack. He's a big puncher.
But let's face it though.
Klitschko is one of the biggest punchers.
He's faced Christian Hammer. He lasted 12 rounds. And
so now we're going to Christian Hammer.
10 rounds. It took 10 rounds.
We're talking about the time Wilder fought.
It's true. No, let's just face facts.
You trying to go over to Christian.
Listen. If Wilder or Joshua faced those same opponents, they would be wiped out. But Ortiz is taking 10 rounds, 12 rounds to beat these dudes. So you can't tell me he's got that power. He's got power if he can't.
Yeah, Ortiz got power, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know, Edge. No, you don't have to rate Ortiz highly, but you can't deny that man got pop in his shots. He do. He has put some guys down. He almost got. Go ahead, man.
I think Klitschko got different power. Ortiz has got power, but Klitschko's got one punch power, like knockout power. You can't compare the two.
He does.
Ortiz is a puncher. He's a bigger puncher than anyone else that Wilder's fought, and Wilder didn't answer the question. So you got to give Wilder credit for that fight.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'll give Wilder credit because that's the toughest opponent that he's faced in his fight.
And that's a guy who was a big puncher. I mean, what are you talking about? That's a big puncher.
I don't rate his power. I don't rate his power in regards to knockout power. Like, oh, he's dangerous. He could knock Deontay Wilder out. That's not. I didn't get that feeling. Wait. Hold up.
Wow. Some people will argue that. Wow, I know. No, Edge, some people will argue against that. They will say Luis Ortiz's power is just as better as Dillian White. They can say that. Okay,
really? So let's face it. When's the last time he knocked someone out cold?
You rate Dillian White
someone out cold?
That was Brian Jennings. So I mean, come on.
That's
he didn't knock him out.
That's 4 years ago.
Are you talking about somebody out cold? Yeah, well, the last guy knocked out cold. That was Daniel Marsh. That was back in 2017. in the fall
that's
2017.
That's 2 years
He knocked
ago.
him.
How many
Okay.
fights has he had since then? Since he fought Deontay Wilder, who's he knocked out cold?
He knocked out cold. I forgot. No, it wasn't him. It was Grj-Martinez. He knocked him out last year after the Wilder fight.
He's ranked 203 in the world.
No,
Name someone in the top.
No, you're moving the goalposts. You're moving the goalposts. You should.
No.
Joseph Parker went 12 rounds with that guy, man. Come on.
Yeah, thank
that
you.
shows Ortiz can't punch. Come on, you can't discredit Ortiz that much, man.
You can't do that, Edge. Though I like you, bro. You cannot move the goalposts like that. You asked the question. I answered it, and you try to move the goalposts.
Look. I'm just saying, yeah. You can't tell me that this guy is the dangerous puncher based on beating Kojanu. Like Dubois beat him quicker.
He knocked out Brian Jennings.
Dubois and Andrew Gorman. Dubois and Nathan Gorman beat Kojanu quicker than Ortiz did. So that means
no, he didn't. Ortiz got rid of him in the second round. Or did Dubois get him in the first round, or what round?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Ortiz got him out in the second round.
was that the second round? No.
Yeah, Ortiz got him out in the second round.
Was it the third or second?
No, Ortiz got him out in the second round. When did Dubois?
I think they're both second round. I think so.
So same round. Okay.
Was it Joyce or Gorman? One of them took longer, I think.
Yeah, I think Gorman's the one that took longer.
Oh yeah, Gorman's one is longer. My bad. But the point I'm making is because like Gorman and Dubois did the same thing to Kojanu. Do you know what I mean? So what? They as powerful as Luis Ortiz?
So now you're all over the place, bro. You're all over the place on this one.
It's like no, but look.
The only guy that Ortiz didn't knock out that he shouldn't have was Malik Scott. The rest, I mean, come on, he has stopped.
I mean, Dave Allen, he didn't knock out Dave Allen.
It's still a stoppage.
He stopped him. He beat him up badly. What are you talking about, dude? What are you?
He stopped him after what? 7-8 rounds? Oh, come on, man.
Tony Yoka took about 10 or 9 rounds, man. Dave Allen's a durable guy.
I'm expecting a killer. The guy.
Nah, man. No. See what you try to do, Ed? You try to rip away credit from Wilder for the fact that he did face one of the biggest punchers in the heavyweight division. Almost got knocked out by the guy. Yeah, you are.
I'm just saying. Ortiz, I don't think Ortiz is a proper test. I don't think Ortiz.
Okay.
Oh my God!
No,
we gotta stop this
again. Wow.
Listen, even when Wilder fought Tyson Fury, that wasn't. I knew that he wasn't going to get. Wilder's not going to get knocked out in that fight because Tyson Fury don't knock fighters out. Do you know
Your
what I mean?
standards are different, man.
Those are two different styles, bro. I mean,
I know different styles, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Going by your standards, the only guys that can punch are Joshua, Wilder, and Klitschko, because those are the only 3 biggest punchers.
This is why I want to see Wilder versus AJ, because I think that AJ is the only guy that's going to give him problems with his chin. I want to see his chin properly tested.
Wilder's been tested, bro. I don't know what he.
That's not being fair, because Ortiz and White, I mean, there's not much difference, man. White has put a couple of the guy that he put to sleep, Chisora, is a guy who's been knocked out and was way past his best. In the first fight, he didn't put him to sleep.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about Luis Ortiz versus Dillian White. That's the fight I would like to see. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's the fight I like to see. I'm talking about Luis. I'm talking about Deontay Wilder getting tested properly when he fights AJ. His chin is going to get tested. Get tested properly.
He was losing on the cards to a lot of people's mind. He was almost hurt and got knocked out, and he came back and knocked out Ortiz. If that's not a test, I don't know what is a test.
Okay.
Look, he got tested. Look, he got tested versus Ortiz. Yeah, he got tested, but not the kind of test that I would.
Well, what do you expect to test? What type of test do you expect him to go through? What test? Explain. What test?
I think in a test from getting hit, being down, and getting back up, coming back.
Oh no. Nah. Let's move on, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. Both guys have been in situations where they have had to overcome adversity.
Yeah, that's
Joshua against Klitschko, Wilder against Ortiz. The difference is that with Joshua, when he had to go through the adversity against Klitschko and he got knocked down after being exhausted in the previous rounds trying to knock Klitschko out and getting hurt. If you want to put that, what Joshua went through in that Klitschko bout because of the exhaustion factor, and put that over the Wilder situation with Ortiz, okay, fine. I can understand that argument. But to say that Wilder didn't overcome some adversity, or suggest that he didn't overcome adversity against Ortiz, I just can't disagree more with that.
No. I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he didn't overcome absurdity of whatever. He didn't.
And you don't make sense, man.
I'm not saying he didn't overcome it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he didn't face challenges, because obviously in that 7th round, people can argue that he should have been counted out. He should, lots of people are saying that. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that what I would like to see him face somebody who's got a big puncher.
Oh no, man! Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to say.
Wait, hold up. Ortiz.
But you're putting that under your standard, which is truncated, which is a bit truncated and not necessarily fair.
No, it's not. No, but that's what I'm saying to you. But that's my opinion, though. That's what I'm saying. It's just my opinion.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. Edgenote, Ortiz, Fury, Breazeale. What more does he have to go through? What more do you want him to do?
Fury is a test, man. Come on.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying he hasn't gone through obscurity. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I would like to see him against someone who's a big puncher and face someone with a big puncher.
Ortiz.
Because I like to see that. Because I like to see that, it doesn't mean that Wilder hasn't been through obscurity. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
But what you're trying to say doesn't make sense, because there's only one other guy, that's Joshua. So what you're trying to say, but that is a very poor standard and logic. Like that's not. That is bad, because someone could turn around. Someone could turn around and say the same for Joshua. They could say, "We've never seen him fight someone who punches as hard as Wilder." But wait,
that's true.
He fought.
That's why.
But that is very retarded.
So basically, Edgenote, by that logic, then Joshua hasn't been properly tested based off what you just said.
Well, he has been tested. He's been knocked down before.
No. You said that Wilder has not been properly tested because he hasn't faced a big puncher. Joshua has not faced a big puncher himself.
He's faced Klitschko.
Okay. All right.
Klitschko is a big puncher, but he don't make sense. So it's not consistent, man. Not consistent. Because Ortiz is a puncher as well. Like Ortiz and Joshua, who got more knockouts?
If he's trying to
wait a minute, he's got more knockouts between Ortiz and Anthony Joshua.
If he's trying to suggest that, if you're trying to suggest that,
I don't think
Klitschko,
there's much between them two, though. I know Ortiz has had more fights, but Joshua. Who's got more knockouts in terms of numbers?
You can knock out all the Kajanus in the world. It doesn't make him a killer. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on now.
What are you meant to go by though? That's because Wilder and Joshua have also got knockouts against subpar opponents. Obviously, Wilder's got more fights. But...
Okay, he's got knockouts against higher opponents.
Yes, he has, but you also got
knockouts against higher ranked opponents, not opponents ranked 200 in the world, ranked 85 in the world.
Okay, that was a long time ago, but he's still knocking out guys on world level. Ortiz is one of them. Or Severn is one of them. Hold up. Severn is on world level. Like it or not, he is a world level fighter. Okay, at the time, when Wilder knocked him out, he was. Okay. Then after that, you have
Grj-Martinez on world level as well. So
yeah,
you got to be consistent, Edge. Come on.
You got the world champion. Like, come on.
That's
okay. Okay.
He's the world champion. Look, you can't hate on that, man.
Okay.
Hold up, Mike. Hold up. So let me ask you this: who's the better fighter, Mason Vern or Charles Martin?
Charles Martin.
You could argue.
Charles Martin and Severn. Listen. Charles Martin and Severn fight right now. Who wins?
They're both as bad as each other, in my opinion. I think they're both bad as each other.
Because Charles Martin went 12 rounds with Kawanaki.
Get out of here. No.
Kawanaki and Charles Martin. And Charles Martin both beats Severn right now.
Oh man, get out of here.
Beats beat Stavern.
Nah, I do think
Tell me
when
somebody who can't
Stavern?
beat Stavern right now.
What standard of Stavern are we talking about? Are we talking about the Stavern now, or are we
I'm saying
talking
right
about
now.
the
I'm saying
Stavern?
right now.
Or are we talking about the Stavern of the first Wilder fight, the Stavern of the Areola fights?
Yeah, who beat better opposition than Charles Martin before he became a champion?
Yeah,
Stavern was
but
better at the
remember, he
time.
didn't knock
Yeah,
out the first.
okay.
He didn't knock out the first Stavern. Remember that though. He didn't knock
He
out the
beat him.
first
He beat him
Stavern.
in 12
He knocked
rounds.
out the
Yeah, but you
second
know what's
Stavern.
funny? Yeah, he didn't knock him out, but that
Yeah,
first
exactly.
Severn
So
was a
that's my
guy. Hey,
point.
guess what? Guess what? People thought that Severn was going to beat Wilder because they thought Wilder was a novice going into that fight, even though he had a lot of,
No,
32 wins. They thought he was going to get knocked out by Severn. They thought Wilder was going to lose
that's a
that
good
fight.
performance. That was a good performance. But
Yeah.
my point I'm making is that the Stavern that it is now, Charles Martin and Kaunaki are better than the Stavern.
Yeah, Dan, I reckon Stavern was better at the time Wilder fought him, but since I think Charles Martin has been better. I don't think I think they're both bad. If Charles Martin has lost to Kanaki, and they both haven't really done much since they lost their world title.
Yeah, so I agree with that. Then in that case, then you have to go by in that case, you got to use this level of this formula. When they became champions, who beat better opponents when they became champions?
Stavern, that's what I said. Stavern.
Yeah, Severn did. There you go. That's my whole point. So, Edgino, look, man, I'm sorry, man. You're alone on this one. Wilder did face a big puncher, Luis Ortiz, and he proved himself in that fight.
I mean, if you want to say that Klitschko may be a bigger puncher than Ortiz, fine, but that doesn't mean Ortiz does not have pop.
Yeah.
No, look, Ortiz has power. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying Wilder has not been through obscurity. That's not what I'm saying to you. I'm just saying I just want to see AJ versus Wilder. That's it.
Okay, that's all you have to say. But don't
how come you just didn't say it at the beginning?
No, but that's not. I didn't say that. I repeated to you many times. I said because I want to see him being challenged by a proper puncher, does not mean he wasn't challenged in.
So Ortiz is not a proper puncher. Are you telling us that? Are you serious?
Look, he's a puncher, but I don't think he's. Look, that's just my opinion. When I saw,
I
don't know about you guys. Look, listen. When Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, was anybody thinking, "Oh my God, he could get knocked out in this fight"? I did.
Yes, we did. We did.
I didn't.
Yes,
Everybody
did.
Yeah, I thought there was a chance that Wilder could get knocked out. Absolutely.
Everybody did. Let me tell you something. Edge. Let me give you a rundown. First of all, when that fight got made, people thought Wilder was going to lose that fight. Even some of his team, the people in his camp, thought he was going to lose that fight.
No. I thought there was a possibility of
just
him
finish.
losing,
Let me finish. No, they thought he was going to get knocked out because they thought Ortiz was so dangerous and he was a southpaw. He was avoided by everybody at that time. Nobody wanted to fight that guy.
I said, if you can't knock out Dave Allen, there's no way you could knock out.
Oh, get out of here.
That won't happen
No, I don't want to hear that Dave Allen talk, okay? He stopped that guy, okay? Second of all,
he didn't stop him. The referee waved it. He
stopped the fight. Yeah, he got stopped. Same thing. He don't matter. He got stopped.
No, exactly. That's what I'm making. But the thing is, if you can't,
he got beat up. Hey, Dave Allen got beat up in that fight, okay? But the fact is that Ortiz was a dangerous southpaw that nobody wanted to fight who was undefeated. People accused.
Okay, let's do the math.
Hold on. Wilder. People accused Wilder for ducking that fight for 3 years before they finally fought, and I was one of them.
Let's keep in mind that Hearn basically signed Ortiz because he didn't want Ortiz to fight Joshua at the time.
No, that's false.
That is not false. That's
that
true.
People want to spin.
That's true.
The reason why he signed Luis Ortiz was because he wanted him to get himself name known in the UK.
No, he didn't. Well, no.
And then he's going to fight AJ afterwards. No. That's what happened. That's the reason why he signed him. Because
why didn't he get the fight? Well, why didn't he get the fight?
It's the same
why didn't he get the fight? Why didn't he get the fight then?
Because he fought poorly against Dave Allen. No one wasn't interested.
Well, let me get this straight. Hold up. Wait, Carlos Takam. Who did Carlos Takam fight before he fought AJ?
That's a replacement. Pulev
No.
Injured with a week left, and that's what they had to get.
So Takam is just because he was a replacement. Wait, hold up. Well, no. So compared to who Ortiz fought before Takam fought, he got the AJ fight. He got the AJ fight.
Ortiz didn't want to fight AJ on 6 weeks' notice, but now he's willing to fight AJ.
Here we go. You go moving the goalposts again. We're talking about back then. We're talking about back then, bro. I understand he ducked the fight because he's out of shape. Yeah, but I'm talking about back then. You're saying that he performed
No,
poorly.
back then he wouldn't have done the same thing back
No,
then.
no, no.
And
I'm
now.
asking you right now. You said that Ortiz performed poorly. That's why he didn't get the Joshua fight. That's why he left Matchroom, as he was promised.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
That's too simplistic with all due respect.
Yeah,
But
and let me ask.
that's what it is, though. It's because the same thing with Usyk. Usyk said, "I'm only signing with you unless I get the Joshua fight."
That's the same thing Ortiz said.
Gerard Miller said to Eddie Hearn, "Look, I want to get to AJ." I said, "Look, I'm going to sign you, but if I sign you, then you're going to get the AJ fight." They're exactly the same thing because everyone wants to get to AJ. So you sign.
Well, why did Ortiz get the AJ fight? He went undefeated.
Gerard Miller and Eddie Hearn said it. He said if he doesn't look good against these next opponents, then there's going to be no demand for him to be fighting AJ. So, and he knows this. And the same thing with Usyk. If Usyk signed specifically because he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, if he loses or performs poorly in these next fights, he's not going to fight AJ because no one's not going to want to see it. It's the same principle.
Wait, hold up. Joseph Parker looked forward. Wait, hold up. Joseph Parker looked forward against Huey Fury. And he still got the fight. What are you talking about?
No, because he's got the world championship belt. It's different. No, he's got the belt. He's got the belt.
Well, okay, no, your logic don't make any sense then.
If Deontay Wilder fought badly, against Dominic Breazeale, went 12 rounds, he struggled, but he won on points decision, AJ will still want to fight him because he's got the belt. He wants to unify it.
Okay, well, fair enough.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make.
No. First of all, it's not always about the belt. It's about who could draw the money and bring bring the most money into the fights. It's not always about the belt. It's not always about the belt. But your point is the reason why Ortiz didn't get the fights because the Joshua fights he was promised because he looked poorly against the fights that Eddie Hearn set him up with, right? Yeah, Joseph Parker equally. Wait, hold up. Joseph Parker, he was a champion, but he looked poor in his fights in his first run as a champion. And he still got the shot.
He's got the belt. He has got the
belt. Oh, man.
He has got the belt. It's different.
How's it different?
Ortiz didn't have no belt. So what's the point of fighting Luis Ortiz in a fight that no one's not interested in? At least if Joseph Parker's got the belt, they can sell it. Oh, it's a unification fight. It's a big, it sells at Wembley. You can't sell out Wembley against Luis Ortiz, who fought poorly against Dave Allen and somebody else that no one's never heard of. You can't sell.
Angelo, let me tell you something. Just because you got a belt, you can make any vacation about. Especially if a fighter looks poor, doesn't mean it's a meaningful fight. Just because they got a belt, there have been many fights.
So you're telling me that if you had a choice between fighting Joseph Parker for a belt and fighting Luis Ortiz without a belt, you're going to go and fight Luis Ortiz without a belt. That makes no sense.
First of all, he would have got more credit at that time for beating Luis Ortiz without a belt than he did for beating Joseph Parker.
Exactly. I was going to get into that, Mike. I was getting into that right there. He would have got more credit to fight that fight because everybody wanted to see Ortiz and Joshua fight at that time. People thought that Joshua was
didn't want to see that fight. That's the problem.
Oh, get out of here. That's a lie. That's a lie. Many UK people were making. Hold on, Edge. No, I saw the comment sections. I saw videos. Many people who were accusing Wilder for ducking Ortiz for a long time said that Joshua was going to be the man who's going to step up and fight him. That's what they were saying.
Because remember this. Luis Ortiz was mandatory for Anthony Joshua, and he turned it down to fight Deontay Wilder.
He did not turn it down. Nah, you got it wrong. He never turned it down.
He was mandatory.
Yeah, he was mandatory.
For Anthony Joshua's
turned it down. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the story. I keep repeating this. I don't know why I keep explaining this to you guys. He never turned that down. Let me tell you the story. I'm gonna try to make it short as I can. Okay, he was mandatory for over a year before Joshua picked up that title. Okay, in a fight against Klitschko. All right, when Klitschko the Joshua fight got made, Klitschko's only other stipulation to make that fight is that he wanted the vacant WBA title to be put on the line. Okay, that Joshua's team and the Klitschko team went to the WBA and they made that request. The request got over to Ortiz because he was a mandatory and waiting for over a year. He was due his shot. So Ortiz was talked to, and he was taught to step aside, which he agreed to, as long as he was guaranteed to get a shot against the winner. Even when the rematch was put in place, he was aware of that. As long as he gets the shot, that was fine between the winner, okay? So both teams have to sign a special agreement, according to Gilberto Mendoza, to make that happen. So when Joshua took the fight, of course, and when Joshua won the fight, and Klitschko retired because he didn't want to take the rematch, Ortiz was promised a shot. Then all of a sudden, the IBF fucking calls their mandatory, which the IBF knew that there was a rotation in place that they had to the WBA had to go first. Okay, so that's when Hearn decided to go back to the WBA and clear up the situation. So you know what? let me go back to WBA and talk to them so we can allow the IBF to proceed first, okay?
Who was a longer mandatory, Pulev or Ortiz? Because Pulev was a long mandatory as well. Like that whole thing is.
Yeah, but he pulled out one time. Well, here's the thing: he pulled out of his mandatory shot at one point when he was offered it. Okay, and the IBF for some reason still kept it, which didn't make any sense. But according to Gilbert Mendoza, they actually met and they actually agreed to let the rotation proceed as follows. The WBA did the IBF, and then this shit happened. Gilbert Mendoza was actually caught off by that, and that's when he said, "Okay, you know what? Let me go. We'll all sit down and talk. We'll come to an agreement." So he compromised and allowed the IBF to proceed, and that's what pissed off Ortiz because he was upset about that and said, "Wait a minute, I was promised my shot first. You know what's going on here?" So that's why he got frustrated. He was upset. He proceeded to go, to make that fight with Wilder with the WBC, and then that's when Joshua Hearn got pissed off about that and wanted Ortiz to be removed as mandatory because they say, "Look, if he's going to do that, then you got to take him off as mandatory. I'm not going to. You can't allow him to keep his mandatory status if he's going to fight Wilder." First of all, they can't do that. I'm glad the WBA didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Because he chose to fight.
No. There's no rule. There's no rule. There's no rule against that, Edge. You know why? Because Ortiz was never the unified. He was never a mandatory challenger for the WBC, so he was not unified. So he was just a voluntary. So he could allow. He was allowed.
Why are you facing Wilder rather than waiting for AJ? Why not?
Well, there's no rule against that.
Why are you deciding to jump ship?
Well, I told you why. I told you why he jumped ship because first of all, he was upset. He was promised to get that shot when that special deal was signed, and he didn't get it. And he felt he was backstabbed. And the WBA told him, "Was like, okay, you know what? Here's the deal. You can go fight Wilder, win or lose or draw. You can still keep your mandatory status." And he was okay with that. And they got pissed off and said, "No, you got to remove him as mandatory if he's going to go fight Wilder." That's what they wanted. Okay, so you can't tell me. You can't tell me what fighter, what time when there's a rule that says that if a fighter who's a mandatory for another sanctioned body goes fight for another title, he could be removed as mandatory.
Look, it's the organization that can make up the fuck I want rules organization. That's basically what it is. Come on,
but anyway,
you know it's true. It's true.
But we got thrown off track here. But the fact is, we gone way off track here. But the point is that you cannot say that Wilder was not tested properly. He was tested. He was tested. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
He was tested against Luis Ortiz. I just want to see the AJ test. I want him up against the best in the world and see that kind of test. That's what I just said. That's what I've been saying.
But you can't say he wasn't properly tested. You can't say he's properly tested. Then now you can't. You can't concede it.
I want him to face the ultimate test. I want him to face the ultimate test against the best in the world, Anthony Joshua. And that's the ultimate test I want to see. That's the test.
All right. Fair enough, man. I love you.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're a good guy, man. But yeah, we were agreeing with most of the points we had here until you went this route with Ortiz. And then while not properly tested, man, that's when everything got off.
I know. We was agreeing too much, man. We was agreeing too much. I have to change that a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But let's move on to something else, though. We got to talk about the WBSS because they ain't got enough talk because of the Wilder knockout. That's kind of really overshadow all that. Naoya Inoue, who punished him.
Guys, I'm gonna jump off here because I'm outside right now. I'm back on the train. So, but yeah, man, we'll chat in later, yeah?
All right, brother. We'll talk later, brother. All right, take care. Bye-bye, man. But let's talk about...
Yeah, I got to go as well, man. It's getting late.
All right. Sorry, man. All right, Mike. It's me and you. We're going to chop it up real quickly. All right, man. Take care, brother. All right, so let's talk about Inoue versus Manuel Rodriguez, man. Impressive performance by Inoue, man. I was really shocked, to be honest with you, because I thought Manuel Rodriguez actually was going to outbox him for the most part. And he didn't last no more than 2 rounds, man. What's your thoughts on that?
To me, Dan, this is the performance of the weekend,
right?
The knockout of the weekend.
Wow,
absolutely, because of who he beat, and the stage that this took place. We all knew that Wilder was going to take Breazeale out. What we did not know is that even if you felt Inoue was going to win. You didn't think that most folks felt that he would not win in this decisive, destructive manner. Rodriguez got off to a good start in round 1, and then it was just like that. Inoue found the punches to land. He got home with the right hand initially to begin the round, follow-up left hook, and the way that Rodriguez went down, bloodied. The look on his face was like, what the hell is this? What did I
Yeah,
get just hit with?
I know he
And
didn't expect that guy to get hit. He didn't expect to get hit like that. And I mean, seriously, and be fair, Rodriguez is an actually bigger man than Inoue. And
you
you're
could
like, what?
see it. You could see it in the weigh in, and you could see it during the brief action that he's a naturally bigger guy. But in a way, as I said in the chat, if folks don't recognize what kind of fighter, what kind of special talent he is, you better, and you better soon, because this guy is a force.
Oh yeah,
It's I'm trying to think of guys who had this kind of power in this weight. Um, Galaxy, Calcite Galaxy at 115 for fans, for historians out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Pacquiao when he was at 22. Wilfredo Gomez when he was at 22.
Carlos Zarate.
Well, not
Yeah,
not Wilfredo Gomez.
Carlos
Yeah,
Zarate.
yeah, Zarate when he was at
Yeah,
18. Possibly Canizales when he was at 18.
right.
Hamed at 26. But
Well,
yeah,
Jeff Penny wasn't really
no, Finnick would overwhelm guys with
with
physical
his
strength,
right.
and he would just bully guys in that regard.
That's true.
Um, but this
Zuma,
dude,
maybe Zuma
uh,
Nelson.
no, not at
Not really.
26. No, not at 26. He didn't have this kind of one punch power. No,
What
um,
about what about Salvador Sanchez? I thought he was a knockout artist in some ways.
no.
He was more of a boxer puncher, right?
Sanchez was he was an elite craftsman, a boxer who had power.
Yeah, boxer puncher.
Maybe Arguello at 26.
Yeah,
But yet and still, the bottom line is this guy is elite. When we talk pound for pound fighters, top pound
yeah,
for pound fighters, we love throwing
yeah.
Loma in there. We love throwing uh, Bud in there.
Right.
Canelo, a lot of people put in there now. If you don't put this guy in a way in your top five at least, something's wrong with you. I question your knowledge as a boxing fan. He
Yeah,
moves on.
I have to agree with you more on that one, brother. But go ahead.
He moves on to the final to fight Donaire.
Yeah,
I think he beat Donaire in the week leading up to the fight. We found out that he's on the verge of signing a deal with Bob Arum. In the
yeah. I
aftermath
heard
of the WBSS, is going to fight Burnett after the WBSS. So the ascending superstardom, and I use
yeah,
that word on purpose, superstardom of Naoya Inoue continues. He's about to become not just an attraction in Japan and in the Far East. This
yeah.
dude is about to become worldwide, no doubt.
I think he should, man. I mean, he's really. I mean, at first he has been. I'll admit that I have been somewhat critical about him jumping in between weight classes like very, very rapidly. It's like, dude, when he went to Superfly, I was like, damn, there's some good fights he can make down here. He could fight Quadras, he could fight Kaz. To be fair, Kaz did turn out to fight against him. He could have fought Gonzalez. He could have fought Estrada. He could have fought Saramasai. That was a fight we wanted to see. Sarita kept, but he just jumped out before he even tried to make a fight with those guys. And that's what people were, Mike and myself was very upset about. That. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I could give you a pass for jumping those other two weight classes that you in, but Superfly was hot at the time.
Yeah,
it was hot. And you jumped out at weight class without fighting those other guys that I mentioned. It's like, what the hell are you doing? So
to be fair, in terms of Chocolatito, the
yeah,
reason Inoue fought in the United States was to try to fight Chocolatito, but he lost. So
right. And
what was
there's no interest in that fight.
what was the incentive? I can understand the argument of him not fighting Srisakat.
Estrada and
And well,
Quadras.
particularly Srisakat, given what he did to Chocolatito in those two fights, and the win over Estrada. But and if people still want to put an asterisk on his record, I understand that. But if he continues to do what he does in the WBSS, the way he's blowing folks out, destroying folks, I can understand the criticism. But for me, it's only
Yeah.
slight if he continues to destroy folks at these higher weights.
Yeah. Now, you know what I forgot to mention? How do you put him on par like with Danny Lopez? That's one guy we did not mention. Danny Lopez was a very big puncher at his time at featherweight.
Big puncher, but didn't have near the skill set. So limited.
Right.
Wasn't really a boxer. One-dimensional guy. You could hit him all day.
You can hit him with a kitchen sink, he'll come after you still. That's how Danny
Yeah.
Lopez
So
was.
in terms of true ability all around, Little Red Lopez doesn't compare with Inoue. He just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But as far as power, as far as punching power, that is, you could probably rate him up there with Danny Lopez. But probably better. As precision as you say, with technique, that is. I agree with you on that, probably. But yeah, man, Donito Donaire. I wish we could have got the Donaire and Tete fight, but Tete pulled out. See, the fight I really want to see is Inoue versus Tete. That was the fight I wanted to see, and I'm mad at Tete for pulling out. He pulled out with an injury, correct?
Yeah, he pulled out with an injured shoulder the week of the fight with Donaire. He was at ringside for that bout. I would still like to see that bout. Um, another another fight I would like to see with Inoue. I don't know if it could be made. Neary, Luis Neary. He's still out there. He fought on
Right.
the Spence Garcia undercard. Looked very impressive. I still think he's a force.
Right.
I would.
Right.
There's talk of him eventually fighting the WBC champion. I think Obali. I think Obali's going to have a fight with Rashid Warren coming up later on this year. I think he beats Obali if he gets that opportunity to and wins. If I'm Luis Neary, I'm calling for a fight with Inoue. That would be a sensational matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree with that, man. But I mean, like I said, hopefully we can get a Tete or Inoue fight soon after the WBSS concludes. I hope so because now Inoue, it was surprising that does he still hold the regular championship at the WBA? Correct?
Inoue has the WBA belt. Donaire has the WBA, I think, super belt.
Yeah. They allowed him to fight for I'm sorry. They allowed him to unify with Rodriguez with that belt, and that's very unusual.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, that was my fight of the weekend. Yeah, he was out. He was dynamite over the weekend. And I just hope folks was able to see it because that was that had the folks at the WBSS. He had the Glasgow fight crowd buzzing afterwards.
Yeah, he did. He did, and it was funny. A lot of Far East Japanese supporters came to fill out that stadium too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's very, very, very interesting. They're going to follow him wherever he goes. So I guess that's where if he fights in the States, and they'll follow him. So that's definitely that's very refreshing to see. And also to mention too is that he actually has the capture the ring belt too, which makes him the number one guy in that division as we speak.
Right.
So
he's that guy. I don't know of any Asian fighters who have made a real supersized global impact. He has the chance. He has the ability. He has that it factor appeal outside of the ring. He got that. What a fighter like Canelo or Joshua, put it that way. We talked about Joshua a lot.
Right.
The way he has a global impact among the smaller men.
Right.
I think Inoue can do the same thing and be good move on the part of Aram because if U.S. fans in particular can see him more, I think they will really gravitate to his personality and particularly his fighting style and the explosive dynamic factor that he brings to the ring.
Right. Right. And I agree with with your points here on that. So let's just hope for the best for Inoue. I do have him obviously favored to win the whole thing. Donaire to me, even though he's regained some bit of form, but he's not the same fighter that he was. And I think you fighting a dangerous puncher right now, pound for pound, and he's very in his prime, and he's going to get smoked by this guy. I'm just being honest. If Donaire somehow win, if Donaire does win, I'll be shocked. I'll be very shocked. And some people are going to say, well, Donaire just weight bully the guy because he ain't fought there in years, and he's just so overly big, which is true. So was Jamie McDonald, but to be fair, Jamie McDonald, even though he's seen better days, Donaire is still a better fighter than Jamie McDonald. Let's be real. So, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm just moving along before I wrap it up, brother. Well, I was gonna say Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk. Now, what's your take on that fight?
Very good fight. Again, just like the Brazil Wilder fight, this fight went pretty much as I expected. I expected Josh Taylor to win. I expected him to go through some rough spots, and he did. Baranchyk,
Right.
he's a pit bull. Uh,
Oh yeah.
but Taylor, he's a surprisingly big guy. I didn't think he was that big for a junior
Yeah, he's a
welterweight.
huge. Yeah, he's a huge junior welterweight.
But
Rachel is too. They're both
yeah,
huge. They're like
very
middleweights
good.
for a damn 140 talent title. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
very good boxing skills on the outside, speed. He showed power knocking Baranchyk down with the right hook. But what
Yeah,
surprised me a little bit was his inside fighting ability.
right,
Even when he stood in the pocket, he
right,
was right there with Baranchyk and at times had the better of it.
right.
Terrific body puncher as well. All around a very good fighter. The fight with Regis is going to be a terrific matchup for the final of the WBSS Super Lightweight Tournament. I'm really looking forward to it.
Right.
I may be in the minority here, but I really like Progress in this. I like how he fought. I like how he fought in his last fight. He was best performance of his career. But
Well, yeah,
but
true.
for me,
What about
I'm
Dongo? That was a pretty good performance by Dongo when he fought a
yeah
Dongo today.
yeah yeah.
Yeah, I
You
know. It's
know.
kind of like yeah, we all have our opinions on that one. But
His
yeah,
last, yeah, but again, I might be in the minority here, but I'm a lean towards I'm gonna lean towards Taylor in this bout. Uh, Taller, uh, the hand and foot speed is right there with Progress. I think he has better footwork, overall foot speed, more athletic. And the thing with Progress is he's a good defensive fighter, but sometimes when he's applying defense, he has a habit of bringing his hands down.
yeah, that's exactly what I pointed out, and I'm in agreement, another agreement with you on this one. I'm going to favor Taylor to win this fight because Prograis, he's a southpaw himself. You know, he's a very, you know, he's a power puncher southpaw, but he does leave himself open when he throws his power shots. He does get countered because if you look at the Carl Relic fight, even though he was breaking down Relic, he got caught a couple times when he was trying to come in against Relic. I think it was one of those rounds where he was exchanging and he got caught with a right by Relic at the end. He was like he was wobbled on his feet when he went back to his corner.
Yeah,
So yeah, he better be careful against a guy like Taylor. Taylor will give him angles and start throwing punches all over the place. And I said to people, and I said it on my hangout, and I know some people I might get a little flack for saying this. Josh Taylor reminds me a bit of Joe Kawasaki, the way he moves in angles, the way he throws his punches. He's a high volume guy. Yeah, I mean, well, not as high value as Kawasaki, but he throws multiple shots at different angles. And he knows how to use his defense. He knows how to move his feet. He moves around the ring very well. He's a very smart fighter, and Progress has never been with a guy like that. So, I mean, we'll see how he does. But you know, the most of the guys that Progress has ever faced those guys who stand in front of him. That's the guys he's faced. You know, guys who don't move a lot. So we'll see how well he does. You know, but I'm going to favor Taylor to win this fight. I'm going to favor it. You know, and I
yeah.
expect him to become the slight favorite to win it. So we'll see. I'm definitely can't wait for it, man. I just hope the WBSS don't prolong it. Of course, they have to prolong the tournament because I mean they have to postpone it because they need to get some additional funding. But I'm glad they finally got it, so they're resuming. So great. Hopefully, we get it next season. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah, again,
Hopefully,
hopefully,
cross my
like I
fingers.
said, let's hope it happens sooner than later, later on this year. But that's a high class matchup between two guys who are starting to enter their primes.
Right, and I'm very upset that Ramirez didn't get into that tournament. Of
He,
course, Aaron doesn't want.
he don't,
Yeah, Aaron didn't want it.
no, Aram don't want that for Ramirez. He don't want him near Progress.
Oh yeah, he don't want even near Josh Taylor. Let's be real. He
Yeah,
won't win those fights.
right.
He don't want him near those guys. We know that. I mean, come on, man. We know Brahmer is a very calculating promoter. He knows where he can match up his guys against and when they not to fight him. So he knows how it goes. One more thing. Well, a couple more things. Billy Joe Saunders, man. I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest. Was that a showcase fight?
I got nothing from that. Move on. Nothing.
All right.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, how you pronounce this dude's last name again?
Sarifi is Sarifi. I think not Sarifi. Sufi. Yeah, Sufi. That's his name. Last
There
name
you
is
go.
Sufi.
That's all you need to know. You never heard of him before. He hadn't fought anybody significant. You got nothing from that.
Yeah.
You know, you should have not you should have not messed around with whatever you was taking and took the fight with Andrade. That was the real fight for you. There was an opportunity for you to really prove something again, and you messed that
Right.
up, and then you move up to 68 and fight someone we never heard of.
Yeah, we don't even know he's going to stay at that weight class. He did say he was going to get a Callum Smith unification bout, but Callum Smith is a big dude. I'm sorry. When he fights at super middleweight, he rehydrates to goddamn over 185 pounds. He's close to goddamn cruiserweight, and he's longer and he punches hard. So I don't know.
It's about time Smith get in the ring. He fights on the Joshua undercard, right?
Yeah, he does. He does. He fights
Okay,
on
cool.
a. Yeah,
So
he.
it's good to finally get him back in the ring. But based on what I saw from the Groves fight, Saunders will make him work a little bit because he moves so much. But to your point, I just don't know how he how he deals with the size of Smith as well as that jab. Callum Smith
Right.
has a very very good jab, and how Saunders is going to be able to get away with that jab at that 6'3" height. Be
Yeah.
tough for him.
Yeah, Saunders is like 5'12", and he's a small dude. I mean, he's a small guy. As I'm looking at that ring that day when he fought this guy Sufi, is to be fair, Sufi's not even a super middleweight either. Them both of the guys were small in there. I'm like, what the hell? What am I watching? These dudes are super small, especially Saunders. I'm like, nah, man, you can't back up to super middleweight. No way in hell. I'm not sure how long you can keep the title hostage, but I mean, at some point, sometimes I'm gonna take another. He's gonna come back down to middleweight when it's the right time for middleweight. I'm just keeping real. Yeah, from that Billy Joe fiasco. The last one I want to talk about: Gary Russell Jr. versus Kiko Martinez. Not too many people talking about that one, man. The only thing I can say is that Kiko Martinez is way past it. I even called it. That's why I didn't really talk about this fight. I'm like, man, what's the point of this fight ever being made? Kiko Martinez is not even a featherweight. He's a small guy, you know. So number one, he was getting hit all over the place, and I predicted he's going to get hit. He's not quick enough. He cannot cut off the ring against a faster foot and slicker style of Gary Russell Jr. Has seen better days, I should say. All I can say is the stoppage. I don't, it should be no protest. I mean, it was the right stoppage. The eye was cut. There was no way he was going to win that fight anyway. I didn't even have him winning one round, to be honest with you, before they stopped the fight. What are your take on that?
I mean, just like the Billy Joe Saunders fight, I got nothing from that. I was more interested in the commentary before and after the fight. Russell calling out Santa Cruz, Russell calling out Tank Davis. Santa Cruz is the fight for him. The bigger question regarding Gary Russell Jr., will we see him in the ring more than one time this year? That's the question for me. If it is, let's hope it's against Santa Cruz. That's the fight right now at 126.
Yeah, that's the thing too. And I like Gary Russell Jr., but ever since he's captured that title, he has pretty much made it clear that he's not really going to devote too much time into boxing. He still want to have a life outside of it. So that's why he's not really want to be so active as he should, But it's disappointing, yes. So from the looks of it, he's going to try to wait, prolong as long as he can to get one of those two big fights in, then call it a career. So I mean, hey, you always want to think outside the box and look outside, your future endeavors outside of what you normally do in one profession. I get that, but as a fan, you like, come on, we like to see you're an exciting fighter. We like to see more of you, and it's disappointing. I mean, not saying that Gary Russell Jr. is a draw, but that's how he feels. But you're right, though. I didn't get much from that fight either. I mean, we all know what the result was anyway. And Kiko Martinez says he's going to go back down to 122, but still, though, even in that case, he's not really a viable opponent anymore. He's had better days. I just think he's done.
He needs to think about calling it a day and retire. He's had a decent career. He's won a world title. Be satisfied with that and move on with life.
Yeah, I think he should. He's had a long, decent career and just move on. I agree. I definitely agree with that. But all right, Mike, I'm going to wrap it up, brother. So thank you for jumping on, man. It's always a pleasure. Good thing we scrapped this up. But hey, man, whenever you have a show on, let me know so I can get on, man.
I plan on having a show this coming Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday evening. So just send me a reminder somehow, Twitter or whatnot, and I'll send you the docket and the invite.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. So thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, no problem. You have a good one, man.
You too, man. Take care. All right, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So I want to give a shout out to Mike from the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. If you guys don't know who he is, he just left a second ago. Please check out his channel, Pound for Pound Boxing Report. Very good content there. Live stream, great interviews, great conversation with those in the business, in the sport that we admire. So I also thank Ahmed for coming in. Edge Note, good scrap for coming in as well, man. Dwayne was here for a second. Ben Umar, and shout out to the section, Marlo's Corner, man. Long time no here. Kurt Sugar, man. I gotta get you on sometime, man. We can talk about some historical stuff in boxing, man. Mala, always a pleasure. Kiwi, always a pleasure. Joe Host, always shout out to you, man. Ones, good shout out to you. Who else I'm missing here? I'm gonna try to get all you guys in here, even though there's not much going on in the chat, but it was still good to talk. Sean Davis, shout out to you, brother. Beer and Weed, shout out to you. DGO, even though we have strong disagreements, but shout out to you. Young Merv, what's happening, brother? Good shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming in. Young Merv, the cut man. And I think that's about it, man. Yeah, so ones, I got ones in here. I got you too, man. So other than that, man, we are out and we're done. Peace.